wow. Okay, give me a sec. Hold on. Let me switch the layout here because I don't like that one. Okay. Can you hear me, gentlemen? Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh, okay. They can hear me. I might have to. Oh, okay. There we go. Now I can, there we go. I wasn't muted. I just couldn't hear.
I cannot.
For once, I wasn't muted. I had you guys muted. I guess it works either way. But I see both participants are here a little bit early. But let me go ahead. By the way, I'm hearing some feedback. Is that you, Dick? Oh shit! Are you calling somebody? What's going on? Okay, we're having tech issues. I know that's a shock. All right, Gator, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, say something.
I can hear you loud and clear. I just want to say, look, I agreed with Ralph to put my feud aside with Jim for tonight so he could come on the stream. I wasn't going to challenge him to 1v1 me. So, in case anybody's wondering, I know that's the biggest question that everybody has. That's the burning issue for sure. Let's see. Dick says he can't hear anyone else. I can hear now.
What a convenient excuse, Dick. Already scared, are you? Oh my God, I got tech issues. Okay, buddy.
All right, let's see. We'll get that figured out. I guess just refresh it. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe your audio's. Are you calling? Where's that? Am I the only one? You're hearing that, right?
I think that's Dick. I think that's on Dick's side. We can hear him.
Oh, you know what he's doing? He's gone into the settings. He's gone into the settings and he's trying to pick the correct
all I see is him hitting
microphone.
18 different buttons. Would somebody tell Grandpa to turn Life Alert off so he can join the fucking call?
Oh, we'll get it figured out. Now there is a call-in number that I sent as well, Dick, just for this type of thing, actually, in case there was some type of issue. So we could use that. If that's
how's my audio, Ralph? Am I coming in all right?
You sound crystal clear. Yeah.
Oh, on time and crystal clear. Dick, where are you? What's going on?
Turning that knife.
We'll figure it out. Let me read the Shekel chats real quick. Paramedic says Jim, Gale, Yeast Bombs, Brett Spinner. Or is that Spiner? I'm not sure.
Brent Spiner.
Spiner, yeah, okay. Alta Beef says, thank you, Jim, for being on top of reporting this. I was a month ahead of the panic with my prepping. I consciously ignored it for about the first 3 weeks. I was like, yeah, that's good. I'm glad he's covering it, but I didn't watch that much of it. I wish I maybe had at this point, but
and now you're wearing surgical masks instead of N95. Good job. Nice going.
Okay, round one. I'm here.
Oh, here we go. We go. He finally showed up.
Round one goes to Jim. Very good. Well done, Jim. Well played. You got your computer figured out. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I had to find my way through a quarantine to make it here. Come on, let's do this.
Do you have a quarantine too? Because depending on how many people are on this call, I might not legally be allowed to be on here in LA. We just had new rules. Now there cannot be more than 10 people in your house. You have to post a sign in your house that says wash your hands, and you have to have your asshole lubed up at all times in case a cop wants to come to your house and fuck you in the middle of the night. New rules. And they're not calling it a lockdown. They spent the whatever pencil dick bureaucrat they had on TV explaining these new laws, spent most of the time explaining that it's not a lockdown. It is a, quote, stay at home. Like it's a fucking episode of Sesame Street. It's not a lockdown. It's not martial law. You're not under quarantine at home at gunpoint. It's just a nice stay at home, like a stay at home mom. Everybody loves a stay at home mom, right?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't they have? Now, I saw you talking about this, but I was trying to set up the stream, so I didn't see what was announced. But do they have limits on gatherings at your own home now too? Is that what I heard?
Fucking 10. Yeah.
Why'd you choose to live in the gift giver state? What are you doing?
Jim, I can give 9 people at my house AIDS without telling them, but if I have one more person, I'm going straight to jail.
Yeah, it's prison time.
All right. Now, I guess we could do opening statements. I really don't know, but I guess we'll try that. We'll start with you, Dick. You seem fired up. Why don't we let you start?
Guys, we're all men of reason here, but Jim, you ignorant slut, what did you do? What are you doing to my beautiful country? Where has my country gone? Do you guys know where I'd be at right now? I would be at a music festival in the middle of the desert with a bunch of insanely hot, barely dressed women who want to get into drugs and make mistakes. And I would be right there ready to help them out with those mistakes. But instead, I am locked down I have been locked down for a week with my girlfriend who's a teacher who now is at home all day. I went from 12 hours of time by myself to having to jerk off in the trunk of my car to get a moment's peace to myself. I'm drinking those tiny Diet Coke cans like a woman because the store is out of regular man-sized can. And for what? Look, guys. You know what? You know what I call 4 million boomers drowning in their own lungs in makeshift ICUs all over America? A good fucking start. That's a good fucking start. Boomer remover. Say it with me, chat. Boomer remover. I say boomer, you say remover. This is 4 million people. These are the worst prognostications, right? 4 million deaths by COVID. That's the entire population of LA. If I woke up tomorrow and the entire population of LA was dead, I'd start believing in God. I'm team virus. I've got, if you want me to be, listen, okay, listen, all you grandma lovers out there, put down your Werther's Originals and your packs of roast beef that you jerk off with because you love your grandma so much. This is my point. Briefly, I've got there's three parts to it that I hate. I didn't hate it until LA got locked down. I think that there is a violation of civil liberties going on at a massive scale right now. Our avenues for redress, our avenues to fight any of them are completely shut down. That's number one. That's what I'm most primarily concerned about. Number two, I think people are afraid of potential deaths on the horizon, millions of potential deaths from this virus, and we're sacrificing real, actual people's lives. We're sacrificing jobs in the present, which might sound callous or whatever, psychopathic to value the two, but we're setting a very dangerous precedent that puts people's fear of future calamity up against the very real quality of life that that we can watch evaporate. We're watching people lose their jobs right now, and that all of that translates into its own kind of death and its own loss of life. We're setting a dangerous precedent. We're relying on people's concern of the unknown. And third, I'm team virus. The boomers have never done jack shit for us. This is finally our chance to make them. I was willing to wash my hands to stop the spread of the virus. I was willing to do that. But now they want us not to leave the house. And I'm thinking, you guys have never done jack shit for us. How about you open up the checkbooks if you want us to stay home? I got to go out and party. I want to go out. There's if you really want to make this sanitized utopia, just write a check, $1,000, $2,000. Let's go. Let's see. Name your price. And that's my opening statement.
All right, go ahead, Jim.
Well, shit, there's a lot to address, isn't there? I guess I'm the counterpoint to that. How do I respond to fuck grandma? Oh, I'm gonna get revenge on you, mom and dad. Oh, it's payback time. It wouldn't pay for my college, motherfucker. Who's going into a ditch?
You're learning the piano now, Grandma. Sit your ass down. I'm cracking the whip, you bitch.
Okay. Well, I think I've watched this now play itself out since January. All right, and the first thing that caught my attention about it, and I think what caught a lot of people's attention, was the massive, quick, instantaneous reaction from China. All right, you've got a world superpower, one of the top economies, one of the top manufacturers in the world. Just suddenly, everything's fucking shut down, and I think people seem to forget the time frame that occurred. I mean, they're speculating the first case of this shit was in November, but really, the public attention of it, the government attention of it, was in probably at the start of January when the whistleblower Lee started talking about it. So from January 1st. all right, from the first person talking on social media about a new disease being found until January 23rd, in the span of 23 fucking days, something scared the Chinese so goddamn much that they shut down half of their population. You know, it went from the province of Hubei all the way over until you had 75 or 750 million people locked down. Now, I'm one of those people that's very realistic about how the world works. I think it's a greedy fucking place full of apathetic, evil people. I think people want to make a fucking nickel if they can make a nickel. And if anything gets in the way, they'll do anything to stop it. So the fact that China was willing to go to those extremes and fuck their economy into the dirt tells me that they were scared shitless about something in relation to this disease. And then we see it spread outside of China. And everybody's got their thumb up their fucking ass about it all throughout February. Oh my God, it won't kill the white people. It's only gonna it's a gook remover. It's not gonna touch the whole white people. And then it gets to Italy, and Mamma Mia, all the pasta eating fucks are dropping dead left and right. And you've got the EU running around with their multicultural, diversity-loving, retarded asses. Let's keep the borders open, says the French. We're not scared of Italy. Italy infected 17 fucking countries. 17 countries. Iran infected 14 because nobody shut the fucking border when they should have. You know, Iran, the country that has ditches so large for mass graves you can see them from outer fucking space. All right, you've got the Chinese have literal mobile incinerators going up and down the streets, welding motherfuckers into their apartments. They're beating their dogs to death because the goddamn disease is zoonotic. It's more than zoonotic. It goes from animal to human and human to animal. So now it's not just grandma you got to put a... Oh, and it's going to be just joyous because when you're looking at the comorbidity of this thing, everything that makes you an American is going to fuck you hard. Obesity, heart disease, diabetes, pulmonary disease. You ever looked up the statistics when, you know, they're talking about the death rate of this thing? It's not just the fucking old. It's the people with pre-existing conditions that are going to get fucked into the dirt. Welcome to the fattest fucking country on earth. 40% of Americans are obese. 5% have pulmonary issues like chronic bronchitis. 10% have diabetes. 10% have heart disease. You think it's going to be a 4% mortality rate over here? Oh, no. You could do a fucking dance over the corpses when this fucking thing is done. Now, I'm not necessarily anti-team virus, but I think we have to be a little realistic about what we're dealing with here, because everybody who said it's a nothing burger, it's not a big deal, it's going to disappear, has been fucking wrong. And every economy in the world has suffered. And I really believe politicians and bureaucrats and bankers and fucking stockholders and companies, the greediest, most apathetic fucks that ever existed, would not go through these measures if they thought there was any other way. And the fact that this many countries are losing their shit collectively tells me that they are scared fucking shitless. And I have points in regards to why that is I'll get into later, but that's my opening statement.
Dick, do you have a response? I mean, we could ask questions, but I'd almost rather you just question him and Jim question you. And I know you actually called it a nothing burger just a few hours ago on Twitter, so that's...
Yeah, I got it today. It's no big deal. I knocked it out. I slammed the XMOJ. It's fine. I would respond to Jim.
Are you gonna Dear Diary it on Twitter like Coach Red Pill? Today I took a shit.
I sucked it out of Tom Hanks' cock. I would respond to Jim, but I couldn't hear you over all the fascist boot that you had your mouth full of. You make a lot of good points. When it came out, I was right there with you, laughing along at all of the journos and blue checks who were trying to write it off as just a flu. Like, I would watch your streams, every time they came up. I think that you're right that they are terrified. I think people are frozen in fear. And what concerns me is more of the cure is worse than the disease kind of thing.
No shit it is. They're talking about using malaria medication. You know how many Nigerians and Africans on Twitter were laughing their fucking collective asses off? They're acting like this malaria, this chloroquine shit is new news. This came out back in February, mid-February. And every African that had a Twitter account was literally doing cartwheels at the thought of Americans having to take this shit. because some of the side effects include like retinopathy and macular fucking damage and deafness. So you get to take this shit so your lungs don't get scarred. And then the side effects that you end up with are blindness and deafness. And they thought that was the funniest shit on earth. They were laughing their asses off. There were a lot of Africans on Twitter that were saying, I'd rather have corona. I'd rather die in my lung fluids than take this malaria shit.
I agree with you. The cure I'm talking about is putting 20% of America out of work. I know a friend of mine runs or works at an occupational licensing. I mean, this is just anecdotal and it's stupid, but it's huge. Works at an occupational licensing company. They're all shut down. Shut down by the government. You're talking about $1 million a week in revenue, 100 employees. All the people that go through there then go on to have jobs. The disastrous impact, the cure that the government is forcing everybody to go through. And it's not people who are sick that they're trying to stop spread the disease. It's just a massive lockdown where, look, we don't even think you have it. Everybody's just pausing. I think they're going to do irreversible damage to the economy with that. And I don't mean the stock market either. I'm not just talking about stonks. I mean, guys' lives, like people who.
No, I agree with you. I think that a lot of people are going to be permanently affected by this, and I think the economy is going to be fucked for years because of this. I think the world economy is going to be fucked for years for this.
Yeah.
I mean, part of that is the way we set it up with globalization and just-in-time delivery and our manufacturing lines. I mean, that's understandable, but I think the fear and the reason they're reacting the way they are goes back to what this fucking disease is. Now, we're on this cycle in America where we're always behind the times. Again, you're seeing news articles now talking about the anti-malaria medicine and Trump talking about it like it's some big new thing. Bullshit. They've been talking about that for a month. The Taiwanese, Japanese, South Koreans, the Chinese, all have been talking about using that in their treatment regimen, along with shit like Kaletra, interferon alpha 2B. They were doing steroids for a while until they found out that was counterintuitive. So they switched over, I think somebody said, to albuterol now. But the reason that they're freaking out are the reports that they're getting. And I mean, I think it would help to kind of clarify going forward, what the fuck is this? Okay, what is this shit? Put aside mortality, but what the fuck is COVID-19? All right, so what do we have? We have an incubation period. What do they say it is? 14 days. But is it 14 days? I mean, we have reports coming out from different organizations, people that did studies saying it could be up to 24 days. We had one reported case where it was 42 days. People say, no, those are outliers. That can't be true. We had one case in the United States where somebody returned from overseas, was quarantined for 14 days. 3 days after leaving quarantine, they got sick and tested positive. In the report that came out, who addressed, the World Health Organization addressed the 24-day incubation period. Do you know what they said? It could just be reinfection. The whole thing they've been saying isn't possible. The World Health Organization in mid-February said, no, that's probably what it was. They got reinfected. 14% of one of the provinces, Guangdong in China, was reporting that, or 14% of the patients were reinfected. They were showing symptoms again. In Canada, people that had fecal swabs were showing the virus still in their system. In Japan, they showed that people were getting reinfected. In South Korea, they showed it. In Israel, they showed it. We know the viral shedding of this disease is the most intense within the first 5 to 6 days. We know that a great majority of people, it seems, that are asymptomatic can spread it. So you've got a disease of a bunch of typhoid fucking Marys out there that are shedding this shit. It's airborne now. Remember when WHO said, no, it's not airborne, it's aerosolized. Oh, you cough and the particles fall to the ground and you're fine if you don't get coughed on. No, it hangs around in the air for 3 fucking hours. So you got an airborne disease that is undetectable in the carrier and that sheds like crazy in the beginning. You could potentially be reinfected. You could potentially show symptoms anywhere from fucking 3 days to maybe 42 fucking days later. It's zoonotic. It goes from you to your pets. There's no telling if it goes from your pets back to you. There are recent reports that the symptoms we're seeing aren't anything close to what this fucking thing can do yet. We have reports coming out of China of it being neurological, viral encephalitis, found in fucking spinal fluid. That's bad fucking news. We have also an interview done with somebody from the World Health Organization who was talking about going to China and talking to the doctors. And they went through this whole debate about mild cases. You remember how China said, oh, fuck it. It's just a bunch of mild cases. It's just grandpa and grandma that get sick. What they forgot to tell you is how they classified mild cases, which are people getting fevers at 100+ degrees and getting really bad pneumonia nonetheless. So now when you see CNN reporting in the United States that 20 to 30% of the fucking patients that are showing up and needing hospital care are under the age of fucking 40, it starts to paint a better picture. You've got this disease, you can't really detect it. It tricks tests. It'll give false negatives, false positives. We don't know the duration of it. We haven't really nailed it down. The mild cases can be really bad. And we just can't, there's no way to contain it. Their only thing they think they can do is basically hope that it burns itself out. They want to lock the country down and wait for people to basically get over it or minimize exposure. Now, I'm not even saying I agree with that shit.
Like
right?
a Ralph disease. You can't hope to stop it. You can only contain it until it passes out and tells the B login to go fuck themselves.
But they missed the boat. China praises, or Trump praises himself for blocking China off. Great, but he should have fucking blocked Europe off the second he heard that shit was spreading there. We should have had a lockdown of all foreign flights into this country the moment that shit was. We would have had a chance to minimize it, mitigate it, not stop it, but mitigate it and slow it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I got some other numbers for you, Jim. You like numbers? How about these numbers?
I love numbers.
1776.
Oh,
how about
boy.
that? Independence, mother. How about the four fathers that gave birth to this great. How about the First Amendment, the right for me to have my road rage show that I now cannot have anymore and have to give out $8,000? By the way, I found out that $1,000 or that 1,200 Trump bucks, I'm too rich to get any of that money. So once again, I am fucked. All the roads leads back to me being fucked so grandma can continue living the last 5 years of her life. Jokes aside, what do you think? My big problem was with the authoritarian overreach of like local, state, fucking federal, at every level. At every level, they have just decided that the Constitution is a piece of toilet paper. Like, it means fucking nothing because people might die. This is terrifying to me. This part is the terrifying part to me because as soon as this epidemic is over, I cannot look a global warming person in the eye and say, your fear is somehow less than Jim's way more reasonable fear of this virus. And then you've got you've got opioid epidemics, you've got gun violence epidemics. Like, when is it going to stop? You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you when the opioid epidemic is going to stop. Probably pretty soon, considering we get 80% of our medical materials and medicine from overseas. Enjoy the withdrawals, you heroin-loving fucks.
Oh,
You're screwed. I hope you have a fucking liquor store nearby.
Festival. What do you think about the authoritarian overreach? Like that, that's my big problem with this.
No, I understand, and I heard a bit of the debate last night between Sean and Nick.
The girl in the world, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, here's what I think, and I think they're kind of showing their hand when we talk about timetables. The British government had a health document leak that was basically confirmed openly later on, talking about how they thought this was going to be going until the spring of 2021. And the United States originally said, we think this is going to go to July, but then we find out they're talking about 18 months. Why does everybody keep saying 18 months? Why is it like a year to a year and a half? Because they're banking on a vaccine. I mean, that's roughly the timetable it's going to take to human test it, to make sure there aren't any negative side effects, to manufacture it and to distribute it nationally and, worldwide even. So if they're banking on a vaccine as being the end-all be-all for this, that probably means they don't have the most faith in being able to either contain it or to treat it properly. We have no real immunity to this. We've never really encountered this before. It's open fucking season. We don't know what it's going to do. I mean, we had China, and others say that they think there are two strains, the S strain or S-CoV and L-CoV. One's worse than the other. Who knows what it mutates into? Who knows what this fucking thing's going to do? They have zero control over it.
Just go away, right? Like
it's not going to go away. Yeah, I mean this thing is here, and I think they're trying to figure out a strategy to buy time for a vaccine. That's how it comes across to me. When you hear the British government and Whitehall and everybody talk about, well, what's our excess death contingency plan? When the British government is talking about how big of a pit they're going to need to dig to bury people, and they're using the phrase funeral pyre, not even burning people in a crematorium, literally piling them up on top of each other and lighting them on fire. When the United States is considering measures like this, when we see death pits in Iran, when Italy's getting overwhelmed and their doctors are freaking out like the Chinese doctors did, I mean, we're dealing with a disease, I think, and it's only speculation on my part, that they are terrified of because they have health experts telling them probably more than they're telling us openly right now. You know, Trump loves his markets, man. Green line goes up, right? So it's all under control is what we heard in the beginning. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not worse than the flu. There's no big deal. But I mean, we're already seeing that, you know, it looks like China was full of shit. You know, 80,000 infections, and they said they had 3,000 deaths, yet Italy has, 40,000? So half the amount of infections, but more deaths. So what that tells me that is probably a lot worse in China. They're probably a lot more dead and a lot more infected. We're going to see it spread more throughout Europe as it continues to gain momentum. We're already at 10,000 cases in the US? Wasn't it March 1st or something when Trump was saying, oh, we got 15 cases? Now we're at 10,000. You know, the growth from 0 to 100,000 cases took 90 days. The growth from 100,000 to 200,000 cases took 12 days. So it took less than 2 weeks to double what it had taken 90 days previously to get to. So I understand people don't want their civil liberties trampled on. I understand that it looks like the local, state, and federal governments are running around like chickens with their fucking heads cut off, because they are. If you listen to Trump's call today, when he was talking to the governors and the vice presidents there, CDC and FEMA and all the other assholes, every governor's bitching them out. They're saying, you told us we need to privately procure protective equipment and we need to privately procure testing materials for our kids. And so they all went out and did that. They put bids out in the market. Well, the fucking federal government goes out and does bids as well. And all the sellers give it to the federal government. So all the states got fucked. They got nothing. And like, what are you doing? We can't even get the fucking shit. You told us to go buy it, and then you outbid us, you cunt. So now they have to run it through FEMA to make it work properly. I think it's a lot of people trying to do a lot of things all at the same time. Nobody really has a solid game plan in place right now to figure out how they want to go. Nobody wants to be another China. We don't want to start welding people into their fucking apartments, but we also can't be tree-loving hippie fucks that are like, just let the virus go, man. Fuck grandma.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's got to be there's the middle ground.
Is that not? I was willing to. When the stock market goes down, I start washing my hands, and when the stock market goes up, I start licking doorknobs. That's been my policy for a number of years. Yeah, it sounds like you are open to the idea of civil liberties, I might say, but perhaps not as passionately committed to them as I am.
I am all for civil liberties, but I also think that exercising caution when faced with an unknown danger that seems to be highly transmissible, that could be permanently scarring, that might not go away, that you might get reinfected. I mean, it's called airborne AIDS for a fucking reason. I mean, it's SARS-CoV-2 is the virus, and COVID-19 is the disease, just like HIV and AIDS. I mean, does this thing get out of your system or not? They don't really seem to know. You get conflicting stories from multiple sources. And we have to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. You know, it would have been nice if somebody in the world had got off their fucking ass and created a paper pipeline where everybody, with all their fucking input, from the doctor at the local hospital to the guy doing a study, could have put all their shit together. We'd probably have more clues now. But it's an international contest of dick measuring right now on how countries fucking respond to it. So that's never going to happen.
Are we winning the dick measuring?
No, we're nowhere near winning.
Oh, fuck. Well, we got to get on that. Part of me, I hear the numbers that you're saying. I see that the high end is like 4 million or something like that. But then I look at all the guys who are all the young people who are getting put in ICUs, and it says, oh, he just got over cancer. Oh, he has asthma. He has all these pre-existing conditions. I see Italy has a hug an Asian person day, and then all of a sudden they're Italian.
Oh, I love that. I love that I'm not a virus and they all get sick. Fuck you, Italy.
Italians greet each other by shoving their tongues into their mouth, by sniffing each other's assholes. That's what they do in Italy, like dogs. It just, part of me thinks that, and I know it's stupid to say, I don't want to discount it's dangerous to discount people's fears. They react horribly to it. But part of me just thinks if Biden didn't have 6 types of dementia and Alzheimer's, that maybe we wouldn't be hearing about all this doom and gloom, and maybe the economy wouldn't have been fucked raw, and thousands of people, or tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, whatever it ends up being, wouldn't have been thrown out on their ass if this all just wasn't a big media conspiracy to fuck over Trump. Like, when are all the journalists ever all?
Well, see, I disagree with you on that. I mean, you can even look at the Dow and look at the months. The last green month we had was December. So we started bleeding money in January and then through February, and that's well before the press ever started talking about doom and gloom. Like shit was getting bad because people understood what was going to happen to the economy even before it got here, even before it really started spreading over in Europe. I mean, now that it's gotten here, yeah, it's going to affect local jobs. Yeah, if you're, if you're doing a job that's a service industry, if you're doing a job that, puts you around a lot of fucking people, you're fucked. And you're right, it doesn't make economic sense. You can't lock down an entire country for a year and a half. So what do we do? I don't know. I don't have the proper solution for you. I'm not saying that the authoritarian approach is the best approach, but I do believe this is a dangerous disease. I do believe that this amount of people being freaked out is probably for a good reason. I do think China knows more than they're letting on. Remember, this fucking thing came out in Wuhan. It's traced to a wet, what is it, a wet market that's literally like, 10 miles away from their virology lab. And these motherfuckers are stealing coronavirus samples and other samples from Canada and the US for years. We had a Harvard professor get arrested for being involved in this shit. So I honestly believe that this is either an escaped bioweapon, some kind of fucking vaccine that went wrong. Chang got face fucked by a bat one day. I mean, that's a story that's circulating that they had a lab where scientists got attacked, and maybe that's where it came from. But this is some nasty shit. I don't think it's natural. I think China knew immediately they were in deep shit, and I think that their willingness to do what they did should at least caution us enough to take it pretty fucking seriously, because locking down, I mean, that's a tenth of the world, 750 million people put under some form of restriction, tells me that they were so scared they thought that was the only fucking way to do it. And we're hearing about, oh, they've recovered, they've recovered, everything's great, no more new cases. Well, then why are they sending Uyghurs? Why are they taking their concentration camp Muslims and putting them in their fucking factories? Because nobody wants to go back to work.
I mean, but China also, like, their favorite pastime is just oppressing their people. Like, that's their solution to everything, is weld the door shut.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. I mean, their job rating right now is the highest it's ever been reported since records have been around. It's 6.2%.
Yeah.
What was it? They put 14, was it billion or trillion into their economy? I mean, they print money like we do. Their factory output has dropped the largest percentage it ever has in 3 fucking decades. I mean, their economy got its ass fucked. So, I mean, we're right there along with them and everybody else. But I mean, the shit that scares me is you hear China saying, we're not going to send you antibiotics. Fuck you. We hear India saying, we've got medicine, but we're not going to export it anymore. We need it. We hear Germany saying, we're not exporting any more of our personal protective equipment. And then you've got all these governors arguing with the president about, where do we buy it? Where do we get it? The only one that's making any sense is a fucker from Idaho. Let's use, 3D printers. Let's go fucking wild with this and get the equipment in place that we need. I mean, we're way behind. The amount of intervention we saw in China, we are way fucking behind that. When the WHO went in and they were touring one of the hospitals, they were talking to the guy and they said, holy shit, you have a lot of ECMO machines. Those are the machines that oxygenate blood. And the doctor's like, yeah, we got 5 of them at this location. And the German delegate was blown away by that. He's like, we have 4 of them in Germany. 3 of the fucking things are in Berlin. And they had 5 of them just sitting there. I don't think we're, the Senate had a hearing where they're talking about how many protective pieces of protective equipment do doctors need to deal with this? If it goes tits up, right? Worst case fucking scenario. If everything goes to hell, how many protective N95 masks do we need for our doctors and nurses? And the estimate he got was 3.5 billion to really be able to deal with the influx. Well, how many do we have in stock? 1%. So we're low on ECMO machines. We're behind on ventilators. We don't have a bunch of isolation wards. We have nowhere near the amount of N95 masks. That's why you hear Trump talking about and Pence talking about wanting construction companies to donate their shit and lifting restrictions so you can buy it at fucking Menards. So I think there's a reason to be worried, I guess is what I'm getting to. What the solution to that is, I don't know. I'm willing to give up a little bit of my civil liberties for a short amount of time to make sure that this doesn't devastate us, because letting it spread uncontrolled is going to. If you look at New Orleans right now, what was Mardi Gras 2-3 weeks ago? People went and fucking partied. People said, don't do it, man. It's a dumb idea. And now the largest cluster of cases down in Louisiana in that area, right over New Orleans, we had Super Tuesday voters in California. Well, how many of those fuckers showed up? All packed together for the Democratic primaries and shit. You can expect that in a week we're going to start to see a massive influx of cases from that. Now you got all these fucking dumb teenagers down in spring break. I just want to get drunk and fuck sluts, man. Well, Timmy, you're going to kill mom and dad now. It's a situation that you've created.
And the dog.
And the dog's fucking dead too,
I think
Timmy.
my neighbor's dog barks all the time. I think it's looking a little
Not
bit
anymore.
Now that you mention it, I have to go give that guy a visit. The problem with I agree with everything you're saying, except the problem with you giving up your civil liberties, even a little bit of them, is that you give up mine at the same time.
Well, I think we should discuss maybe what civil liberties you're under the illusion that you have right now. I mean, the Patriot Act's still in place. The National Defense Authorization Acts of 2011 and 2012 are still in place. So basically, I mean, here's the reality. If the government wanted to right now, they could come in, grab your ass, put a black bag on your head, fly you out of the country, put you into a facility, not tell anybody you're there, deny you a lawyer, and torture your ass. And that's legalized. That's legal. They can do that right now under the fucking powers that they have. So, I mean, if we were going to have this liberty fight, we probably should have done it under W. I mean, I remember Obama was the Black Kennedy who was going to come in and save us, and he did nothing. He made it worse.
The difference is I don't think that they would do that to thunderous applause now. Like, you got that guy in Kentucky who walks out of the hospital, cops show up later and says you're sick, and people are online wanting him to be drawn and quartered. Like, this is a guy who did not get his due process. None of these businesses that are getting driven under by the whatever states or cities are declaring martial law, none of them are getting their due process, and everybody loves it. That's the worst part. You've got them all over Twitter, all over the news, all over the internet saying, good, fuck you. You're going to go out and spread and maybe kill my mom or your sister or something like that. Good, I'm glad the government's doing this to you. And to me, this is horrifying. It's one thing to be cautious. It's one thing to take away civil liberties with due process, but it's another to just do it and have everybody universally celebrate it and wish they would have done more. Wish they would have been more aggressive or more callous or more violent with it even. That's the troubling part for me. And I know it all comes from the fear. Like, you are saying all these numbers, and I believe that you understand them. I believe that you, Jim, understand everything that you're saying and that you have a mind that can soak it all in. But you listen to that guy last night, Sean, who calls in, and it's obviously just wants to take guns from black people. Like, this is a person that feels empowered by this crisis. This is what they're getting out of it. That, yep, it's time to do something during a crisis that we've never been able to do during peacetime, which is take guns away from black criminals. Like, yeah, buddy, that's kind of this is what's wrong with a reasonable revocation of civil liberties, that just not everyone takes it that way.
No, and I understand that. I think one of the realities we're going to have to face, regardless how this goes forward, whether it's 1 or 2 months, or if it really is 18 months, which would be a nightmare scenario, they're already talking about, what do we do with prisoners? What do we do with law enforcement? They already want to start, disallowing arrests for certain misdemeanors. And I can see the logic of it, right? You've got a shoplifter. Some little fucker runs into the store and steals $20 worth of shit. Okay, let's say that little fucker's got coronavirus. Well, who gets exposed to it? The cop that arrests him, that's one. The guy that's booking his ass at the station, that's two. Every other prisoner that's around him, his public defender, the prosecutor, the judge, the bailiff. By the time this little fucking shoplifter gets through the system in a slap on the wrist, 20, 30 fucking people have been exposed. But then on the other hand, you have prosecutors and jails saying, well, we want to start releasing people. I mean, some were saying if you've got 6 months left, let's just let you out now. Some people were saying, well, if it's nonviolent, just let them out. The police, are they going to be able to cope with it? Are they going to be able to deal with it? I mean, are we going to have to, fucking barricade ourselves in our homes because 911's not going to show up? I don't know how crazy it's going to get, but I can, every disaster movie we've ever watched regarding Americans always paints us in the worst light because we know we're retards. We know when shit hits a fan, we're going to start shooting each other for sport.
I've
You
got
know,
I've got a gallon freezer bag. I've got one of those gallon Ziploc bags that I've been every time I have to sneeze, I sneeze into that so that when the quarantine is over, I'm going to come out and be basically invincible. I'm just going to walk around with that bag in front of me at all times like it's a Bible, warding people off and doing whatever I want.
well, you know, I know there was what was it? There's one research company wanted to pay people $4,000 a pop to intentionally get infected so they could study the disease, right, and see what treatment methods would work. I mean, if you want to make some money, you could go get verified as having had coronavirus and recovered from it, and then start a fucking company that fills in rosters at other companies. Like, oh, hey, none of your workers can show up because you don't want to risk them getting infected. I'm certified having been infected and cleared, so I can take the job now and keep your corporation running. I mean, you're going to start to see weird shit like that. We're
Yeah.
going to see companies that pop up that use robotics. In China, that was really big. Why waste the resources of a nurse to deliver food and medication to a room when we could set a little fucking robot to do it? They were using drones to decontaminate the streets. You know, so I mean, I guess there'll be business opportunities in some way, but yeah, a lot of people or a lot of people's livelihoods are going to be fucked up. Giving them a payment of $1,000 for 1 or 2 months is not going to last them 18 months.
Well, you
Letting
know, it's almost 1 month of health insurance. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, you know, and the whole we'll let you delay your taxes upwards of maybe 180 days. Not going to cut it either.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I mean,
Still got to pay though, right?
we could have had a government that was more proactive if they wanted to go the wartime footing. We could have had a government that said, you know what, shit's hitting the fan. So let's start a victory garden program. I mean, we did that in World War II. We need you to help us help you. So we're going to teach you how to garden. We're going to help you grow your own fucking food in your front yard and your backyard so you have a food supply if shit hits the fan. Because we don't know how bad this is going to get. You know, we don't know how fucked things are going to get. The longer people are out of work, the sicker people get, the more financial pressure they're under. Is that going to lead to a collapse of society itself? I have no idea. I mean, I'd love to sit here and be like a doom Paul and tell you the end is nigh. I think reasonable heads will prevail. I hope they will. But
In where? Because people
anywhere,
where the hell do you think
anywhere.
that's gonna happen? I mean, I guess that's why I started saying I trust that you have rationally looked at the numbers, but people just can't. I mean, they just see it and they're irrationally afraid. I don't know where this. I don't know where do you think that's going to happen.
Well, you know, I had hope for people like what is it, Farsi, that was part of the CDC team, response team that Trump took on. I think I'm saying his name right, the virologist. But then he got up there and said there's no reinfection, and that just pissed me off because if it's not a reinfection or a reoccurrence, something's happening with these people, and the virus is still present in their system. So there's a lot of details that are getting left out. I don't know.
I think what you're forgetting is that everything that I do think this was a bioweapon made in China, and that everything made in China breaks. Is
absolutely.
So
Yes,
you're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. You're worried for nothing.
I honestly think that at the end of this, regardless of how many people are dead, the economy has been fucked enough, and enough people have been affected by that we should maybe considering dropping a few nukes on the Chinese as a retaliation.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I think we should drop a few nukes on those fuckers just to remind them that they can't do stupid shit like this. People are like, oh my God, I mentioned Iran, and they're like, oh, Iran sucks Chinese dick. Well, I was like, well, you can only build so many fucking body pits that can be seen from space before you change your mind on people, regardless of how many doorknobs you lick. But one thing I wanted to talk about was, Trump had mentioned Google making a website for them, and everybody got on his ass. They're like, Trump's an idiot. What the fuck's he talking about? I think what he was referring to is there's already a project in place. It's called Nightingale. It's a cooperative effort between Google and Ascension to work with the Catholic healthcare system, which has like 2,600 hospitals in 20 states. And they were in the process of having Google head this up, right? They passed aside HIPAA protections and all this other crazy shit to let Google digitize everybody's health records and put it onto a main database. So I think Trump was thinking, well, if Google's already in the middle of Nightingale and working with a large portion of hospitals in like 20 plus states, let's just have them make a fucking coronavirus website and start tracking people. It's weird. We like our liberties over here. Are we willing to exchange some of those for protection? Would we do what South Koreans do? They have an app on their phone that says, hey, you're in an area where somebody had coronavirus. Maybe be careful about that. Now, it doesn't tell you. Yeah. Okay, so they do case tracking similar to what Singapore does. Singapore has a really good system in place where they try to map out who's infected, where the cluster is, who they've had contact with, and isolate them to stop the spread of the disease. I mean, they're still getting cases, but they try their best to slow it down. South Korea does something similar. South Korea put in the drive-through testing facilities. I mean, why make a clinic setting or a hospital setting where it's known to spread even easier? Why put people in that setting when we can have them sit in their car, drive up one by one, and limit exposure so the sick people aren't infecting the healthy people? They're putting up a phone booth system where you walk through basically an isolation area. You go into what looks like a phone booth. You're tested. There's no contact between you and the nurse, and you get your results in about a day. So they made testing easy. They've made it so it limits exposure between people who may be infected or may not be infected. They put a system, a public system in place to warn you. Like, hey, if you're by the fucking bar, if you're by the bowling alley, if you're by the airport in this neighborhood, well, we had a positive case there, which may mean that there are other people that could potentially be asymptomatic and we haven't found them yet. So be careful, be aware, and maybe avoid it for now until we're sure. Now, they don't list who those people are. They don't give you their fucking name and their picture, but it's just a heads up, and I don't necessarily disagree with a system like that over here. But the question is, and I think this is what Dick's worried about, and I understand it, can we trust a government we knows loves to fuck us when it comes to any kind of technological power over us? I mean, the NSA, the CIA, they have all this backdoor tech into our fucking stuff. They have all these databases. They do all this nefarious shit. Can we trust them with this new database? And then you've got Bill Gates, little fucking nerdy goddamn Bill Gates, goes on Reddit today and tells people, oh, well, we have a solution. We're going to create a digital certificate that says whether or not you've been infected and whether or not you're vaccinated. Well, Bill, how are we going to know that that digital certificate's attached to me? Oh, well, there's also another program that maybe we're going to microchip you. So now it's got all the evangelicals convinced the mark of the beast has come. And Bill Gates is like a messenger of the Antichrist.
Don't worry, Bill Gates has also suggested that maybe they'll just tattoo it on you in case you're scared.
Did he really say that? By the way, I was muted. I know that's a shock. I just asked him to go into South Korea, which I think was pretty obvious after Dick.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you did say
I
that.
know it's a big shock that I was muted. Go ahead, Dick, if you want to respond.
If I want to respond to letting Bill Gates put something inside of me, I do not. Yeah, I hope that by the time this is over, I obviously I hope that everyone is completely wrong and hysterical about their predictions of how many people are going to die. And I'm ambivalent about that, obviously, because I do want to wipe out most of the boomers because they've been fucking us over forever. But out of spite, I want everybody to be wrong, just because it is a bunch of numbers that are settled science. I want to say they are indistinguishable from every other crisis that we've had to face, and the fact that people are eagerly lining up to hand over authority to the government is stuff that you never get back. The cost of the virus, whatever it ends up being, and it might be very low. We've had H1N1 hit hard, took a lot of people with it, but now it's just kind of gone. It's still lingering around, but it didn't destroy the world. The concern to me is that whatever ends up happening, the things that we do now, no matter how much of a violation of civil liberties they are going to get credit for that outcome. So if Jim, you and people who are very, very worried about it are in the unique and enviable situation of being able to take credit for a positive outcome, whether these things worked or not. And I hope that everybody takes a step back and says, you know what? We don't really know if all this quarantine shit stopped the virus. We don't know that it wouldn't have just stopped on its own. We also don't know that it would have been bad if we hadn't done this. My big concern is that, and I know this will happen whether or not they say this, is that all of these measures, all of these draconian policies, all of these lockdowns, will get credit for stopping the virus. Politicians will trip over themselves for stopping the virus by quarantine, with these stay-at-home policies. Journalists will congratulate each other for getting the word out and whipping everybody up into a hysterical fear, but they don't know it. They don't know that any of that will have helped at all, and no one will be saying that because there's no money in it. There's no people don't want to hear that. They want to hear that they did something good.
Well, right. I mean, you'll have to wait. I mean, we'll all have to wait 5 to 10 years to look at this and be able to be like, well, this seems to have been applicable. This seems to have worked or not worked. I do think we can look at certain countries and compare them to other countries to see, does quarantining early have an effect versus not having an effect? I mean, in Iran, they were running around licking fucking doorknobs, and you can see how that turned out compared to Singapore, where they pretty much shut shit down immediately. Or you can look at North Korea. Now I know North Korea says it doesn't have any cases. I'm almost certain it does. But Kim was one of the first in the world, even though he sucks Chinese dick, for those dollary dues. First in the world to tell China to fuck itself and shut the border. Then on top of it, he said 10-day quarantine for all packages coming in. They get decontaminated, nobody touches them. 30-day implemented fucking quarantine if you're coming to the country. So we'd have to see, I guess, North Korean numbers, Italian numbers, Iranian numbers, we'd have to take everybody's numbers at the end of this and really look at them and look at the different varied approaches to see what worked and what didn't work. But I honestly do believe that letting it spread, unchecked is the worst idea, because there is a surge capacity to hospitals. And, if all these coronavirus patients, end up needing hospitalization, if they're giving estimates of, well, it could be 40% of the world, it could be 60% or 70% of the world that gets the virus. Well, I'm not even talking about mortality, how many die, but what they're saying, upwards of 15 to 20% do need hospitalization. That overwhelms the U.S. hospital system. Okay. So what happens to everybody else? What happens to the guy that needs chemotherapy? What happens to the dude that needs heart surgery? What if you break your fucking arm? I mean, first of all, if you even show up at the hospital, you're risking infection from coronavirus. Who knows what that's going to fucking do to you? But if you delay your surgeries and you delay your treatments, you're probably going to die. So that mortality rate, it's added on once you go over surge capacity. So I don't think letting it spread.
Sorry for interrupting. This was a recession concern too, because I think I read somewhere like 500,000 extra people died of cancer during the recession just because they didn't have access to healthcare anymore. Which is a real cost that we're just deciding to pay against an imaginary cost of who the virus might kill.
Right. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, I think if we let it spread uncontrolled, you will see people flooding the hospitals. They will overwhelm the system, and it will push people that were getting treatment for other things out of the way. So you'll have the mortality rate of the disease itself, plus all the people that needed treatment for, other things. And how do you calculate that? Do you look at last year and say, this is how many heart surgeries we had? This is how many cancer patients needed treatment. And add all those up to find out how many deaths in addition to the mortality of coronavirus or COVID we're going to have? I don't know. But I mean, I hear you on everything you're saying. And I think you get where I'm coming from too. I don't have the magic bullet solution. I'm not even pretending that I do. All I've been concerned about watching this is, hey, this is one hell of a shit show. And I don't think it's gonna
having a great time until St. Patrick's Day got canceled, and then I said, "Well, this is a problem. Now something's got to be done." If you're willing to sacrifice St. Patrick's Day as an Irishman, respect, but I am not willing to sacrifice Cinco de Mayo as a Mexican. I just want to throw that out there. This shit better be cleared up by the beginning of May.
Well, Dick, here's an interesting thing. What are we going to do if let's say the worst case scenario is true? It's 18 months. And they want to have some kind of form of quarantine or lockdown. What the fuck do we do for the presidential election?
I mean, I honestly think it would be hilarious if Trump just suspended it. We'd really have egg on our faces if Trump just decided to go full on Hitler dictator and say, yeah, you know what, I'm canceling it. I think we should also prepare for the very real possibility that we all already have it. It's all in everybody's blood now, and we've all had it for a long time, and we just didn't really notice it because it's not that big of a deal.
Well, no, I can say that's not true, because I have looked at the state statistics of testing. Like if I use Minnesota as an example, we've got 95 cases. They've tested 3,000 people. Now, even if you increase the numbers and you say, well, the false negatives that you mentioned earlier, Jim, so maybe more people have it, fine. I mean, let's say half of them had it. That still means half haven't. So, I mean, I do believe it really.
Uh-oh. You cut out for a second.
Blocking international
Wait.
flights.
You cut out.
Oh.
You cut out for a second. Just back up a sentence or two. Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I said even if you look at the state statistics, they'll show you how many people they've tested and how many have it. And even if you take into account false negatives, it's pretty clear that it's just kind of starting to spread. So what's the solution to that? We blocked international travel. Are we going to stop domestic flights? Are we going to tell people they can't go from one state to the other? Is it every state for itself? I have no idea. I mean, Minnesota's a pretty lip-shit area. We're already dodging TB because they let all the Somalians in. You've got to deal with a whole fucking buttload of AIDS down where you are. So I don't what state's the best state to be in when this shit goes down if we all get locked into our states? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean, that is sadly, I think people would be fine with that. Just a blanket ban on all travel because we're afraid we're going to get sick.
Now, do you think that's going to happen? By the way, there's some super chats, and I'm going to read those in just a second after you answer that, Dick. Now, some of them, D-Live, I'll just go ahead and complain right now because for some reason, it's not like YouTube. If so many come in, it'll just bump some off, which is complete horse shit. But anyway, I'm going to read.
Pull up. They got a lockdown on the route.
It actually bumped some off. I remember a couple.
I think I know the system Ralph's talking about. Yeah, super chatters. If you type your super chat and it starts off with Justin's son is a faggot, I think that I think immediately that gets deleted.
I disavow. We love that guy, whoever the Tron guy. Yeah, he owns this place now. But if it did get deleted and you really wanted it asked, just email me theralph@theralphreport.com. I'll pull up my email and I'll ask it that way. But go ahead, Dick. Do you actually think travel is going to get banned?
I don't think there's a limit to what people are willing to lock down when they're afraid. Like I said, when you called into the show, I said we're doing the road rage no matter what, and you said very presciently, unless there's martial law, Dick's going to do the show. And what do you know? Martial law were declared. I talked about just doing the show anyway, but with the court, not only is it illegal, but the courts are shut down. So if you get arrested, you are not getting arraigned until they decide to open them back up again. And even if it is unconstitutional or whatever, the reality is people are so fucking pissed that if you violate one of these quarantine orders right now, I think you'll get dragged out in the street and dragged around the city like Hector. Anything's on the table. With the way people are afraid and reactionary, I think they're willing to do anything at this point. And I don't think there's any thought. I don't think there's any thought behind it other than my grandma's gonna die. Everybody's out there simping for grandma, which is, everybody's grandma's going to die. We got to lock down planes. Everybody's grandma's going to die. Don't you fucking understand that? Fuck your job. I don't have a job. Be like me. You didn't do your homework last night, did you? I didn't either. Great. Now nobody's working. The economy is in the shitter. I think it's easily on the table just from what I've seen. Like, to see people celebrate these lockdowns, these Sesame Street lockdowns, to see people celebrate cops sitting outside of a guy's house with guns without even getting a statement from the guy. Nobody wanted to hear his side of it. To see people celebrate that, I think they're ready to do anything.
Yeah, honestly, I would be shocked if they let me fly to LA on the 26th. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I will be shocked. Yeah, I'll be shocked if that's still going down. Now, there was a Ninja Guinea that I vaguely remember from Alta Beef earlier, and he was talking about his clients in Europe, talking about Italy and what a shit show that was. Again, if I missed it, please just email me, theralph@theralphreport.com.
If I missed it, donate again.
Well, that's not my fault. I mean, it's Justin's son's fault. You already said it. Okay.
There you go.
Charlita gifted a bunch of subscriptions. Thank you for that. I'm going to keep going down. Mike Boudet says, can we agree to a rematch once this ends, provided Jim's pre-existing cancer AIDS hasn't killed him? I mean, it's up to them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's come back in another month or two and see. I was going to ask Dick that in a minute.
It's an internet. Yeah, sure.
Charlita with another bunch of 1 month subscriptions to the chat there. Also, we're going to take callers. Throw out the Discord link. That should be fun as well. Some of these actually screenshotted because I saw them starting to disappear. George D. Live gave out 7 Ninja Guineas and just said he enjoyed it and he didn't really have a question. There was another question from Boudet, I believe. Let me look here. Sorry, I had to screenshot it. Where is it? He said, ask Jim if he thinks the flattened curve in China is real or manufactured by the Chinese Communist Party.
Oh, absolutely manufactured. 100%. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that they're recovered there in China now. What about, I don't know if you saw in Wuhan with the, like, they were taking, like, thermal imaging of the earth there, and it's clear that they're doing something nefarious there. Yeah.
Yeah, the flattened curve, I don't believe. I mean, I think we've already covered this. I won't go too into depth on it, but
Yeah.
Fuck the communists, fuck China. Xi Jinping is a lying fuck, and the World Health Organization is in China's pocket because what, they fund 30% of it. And let's not forget, good old Teddy, the head of the World Health Organization, covered up epidemics in Africa to get his fucking job position. So I don't trust the Chinese numbers, and I don't trust who when they suck Chinese dick and say the Chinese have done such a great job.
Yeah, that guy's an absolute clown. The WHO head. Yeah. Patrick says, great show, gentlemen. Some more Ninja Guineas. Let's see. 113657 says Jim is just scared because he's a boomer smoker. What do you say to that, Jim?
I say, there's a lot of talk about it just kills boomers. Let's go with that. Let's say this thing is the boomer Holocaust. Can I say Holocaust on D-Live, or will Justin Sun shit Chinese blood if I say that? Is that okay, Ralph?
Whatever. I'm close to getting banned anyway. Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's say it's the boomer Holocaust, right? What are you left with then, assholes? You're going to have a country run by millennials, the worst fucking generation there is. It's not the Zoomers in charge. It's the narcissistic blue checkmark lib shit millennials that run you. So enjoy President AOC and her fucking, what is she, what would a country look like under that? Like, you think Generation X is going to do anything? The latchkey kids, they're apathetic. They don't give a fuck. Millennials will run the country, and they'll run it right into the ground with their diversity and all their stupid lib shit ideals. So I'm just saying, be careful what you wish for. You get rid of the boomers, as bad as they are, you got something worse waiting in the wings.
Typical boomer, all threats and doom. Look, we lower the voting age to 6 with all the boomers gone. We're gonna have Nickelodeon running the country. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have
the worst. It's gonna be TikTok.
It's gonna be the Supreme Court. It'll be fucking awesome. Don't listen to Jim.
Again, I feel bad because they disappeared, and I didn't want to stop the conversation because it was so good and just be like, oh, let me read the super chats. So that's why I didn't interrupt. If you did send one in and you're mad that I didn't read it, the Ralph at theralphtour.com, I will read them. Just send me the email.
So they disappear like Tron's value.
Yeah, they do. You're never gonna let it go, are you? All right, let's keep going. Studio I Can also gave a bunch of subscriptions. I appreciate that. I'm looking for a question here though. He says contact Fuentes. He has a bot to save. Does he really? Motherfucker, I was talking to him earlier. Okay, I will ask him about that because that would be very handy. I don't understand why it bumps off like that. It makes no sense. Anyway, Permafrost ZEV says Dick is actually winning this one, is what he said.
Yeah, I don't think you can win this. Like, Jim's got a lot of really important points about how this virus was ignored and totally fucked up. Like, it was even dealing with China. We know they lie. We know they lie about everything. We let them lie right to our face. We know the who lies. Like, we know exactly who the players are. We still fucked it up. And now the people who pay for it are like always, the Laffer curve, the American citizens, like the guy who's just trying to mind his own fucking business and go do drugs at a music festival or go have a show downtown. Like, that's who always pays for it. I think Jim and I are on the same side in a lot of ways. I just am a selfish fuck who really, really has a hard on for civil liberties and not for grandma. But
what did your grandmother do to you?
Yeah, you basically invented the simping for grandma. I saw that in a YouTube comment section the other day. I was like, that came from Dick Masterson. He fucking invented that. I've never seen that before then.
Like, you make it sound like she sexually molested you with like a fucking spoon or something. Like, where did she touch you, Dick?
I better not speak to you.
He's really quiet.
Your ears are burning in Globe, Arizona right now. He knows I'm talking about her.
Oh, I'm sure Dick loves his grandmother. All right, now let's keep going. Let's see. Kiosk Man says healthy young peeps can get lung damage. Dick is wrong. Violet77 says Jim winning. Mike Boudet says California just extended its lockdown to all 40 million residents. I'm sure Dick will love to hear that.
Enjoy hell, Dick.
You see why I want the virus to win? Don't fucking contain it. Wipe these motherfuckers out.
Memes Dilt says press S to spit on China. Psycho Dad says call it the boomer pox. 80 User says Jim and Dick, what's the most creative way for me to capitalize on this virus?
I absolutely come up with a staffing service. Come up with a staffing service that can absolutely certify that somebody's had the disease and they're over the disease, and then offer to staff other companies. I'm not even kidding. If you come up with that business, you'll make millions of dollars. If this shit lasts 18 months, companies are going to want people that can show up in an office and work for them. And if you're given a clean bill of health because you already went through it and you're not contagious anymore, you've won the fucking the fucking fight there, right there.
What about you, Dick?
The best way to make money is to go open a Robinhood account and know nothing about stocks and just jump in as hard as you can because you're afraid that the economy is going to take off before you get in there.
Tuesday just resubbed for a month. Skag517 also resubbed. Ralph Acoon says, whoever wins, we lose. Johnson Brown says, I just like hearing Dick and Jim's beautiful voice. That makes two of us. All right, let's take some callers. How about we do that? What do you guys think? Are we ready for
Sounds
callers?
good.
Yeah, all right. Sure. All right, let's take some. Now, you're very familiar with Crippled Jesus, Dick, are you not?
I am, yeah.
Why don't we bring him in first? What do you think? All right.
Love it.
Crippled Jesus, you're on the Killstream. Go ahead.
What's up, buddy? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I just want to say I am also Team Virus. I'm already in a chair, Ralph, so it can't get much worse than it already is.
Fair point.
And I also want to say they closed down my poker room, which is the worst thing ever. Fuck your grandma. My personal entertainment is more important than your grandma living. So fuck your grandma, and I need to gamble again.
Thank you, Crippled Jesus. I appreciate that. Any commentary on that, or just let it simmer?
Well, I guess my commentary is which one of you two is going to run first to get those T-shirts for sale that says "Fuck you, Grandma"? Is it going to be Dick or Ralph?
I would feel like I'm infringing on his IP if I was to do it, but yeah.
Fuck your grandma and her little dog too. We're gonna sell them in a pair.
All right, let's try another one. Let's look through here. Oh man, this is quite a full room here. All right, let's try this guy. Dead Kulaks, you're on the Killstream. Go ahead.
What's up, Ralph?
What's up?
I'm honestly in Dick's point of view at this point. Is like, you know what? Just bring it the fuck on. Honestly, I live in Chicago and I see just so many people that are exceptionally unhealthy and for lack of better words, just kind of parasites on society. Whereas, I'm in the food industry and I'm stuck under state mandate just to make sure I continue to go to work. I'm not allowed to have days off anymore, which is amazing. And aside from that, I'm just thinking I have a lot of sick boomer relatives that if they just dropped, a lot of that money would go to me, and that's a new car, some more guns.
Well, thank you for your call, sir. I appreciate that.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what to say.
It's a will together, Grandma. You're talking about fat people being at risk for this virus. California shut down my Pilates studio, so you basically given me a death sentence.
Oh, yeah, you're dead man now.
Yeah.
This guy's pushing his family down. I mean, what am I really supposed to say to that? I don't know.
Tell him to donate.
I just like to remind everybody, all those Zoomers and millennials out there thinking they're going to hit a payday. If they don't have a will with your name on it, it goes to the state. So at least fake grandma's signature before she croaks in her lung fluid, I guess is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, get that new document in front of her face while her lungs are collapsing. All right. Let's see. Waffle Kodiak.
It's a statewide stay at home. Amazing. Fucking amazing.
Waffle Kodiak subscribe monthly gift from God says, "Can I get the Discord link?" Yes, you'll get it. It'll get put out there in just a moment. Now let's take another caller. Okay. Oh, before I did, I wanted to ask Jim this though. Do you really think American society can handle a months long, much less a year and a half long type of semi shutdown or full shutdown? Is the society too split? I mean, me and you have been talking about it for years. Basically, this is not a cohesive society that we live in the United States. Do you really think we could handle something like that?
No, we're a vastly we're a majorly mentally unfit and physically unfit country. We don't really have a sense of cohesion or community. If this had been like 50 or 60 years ago, we could have got through it pretty easy. I don't think anybody would have really had much of an issue. But this isn't even a political thing. This is just an all of us thing. We're just kind of all a bunch of slobs that are self-absorbed. And I don't know how much stir craziness people are going to be able to handle. Now, I know Needs will be fine. Just play your fucking video games, watch your anime. People like Dick stuck with, what did you say, with your girlfriend? It's gonna be a homicide over in that place after 3 months.
United. I'm hiding all the bullets tonight after the show. I'm not hiding the guns so that I know when she tries to kill me. So I'll wake up and she'll go, "Oh, you thought that was funny on the Ralph Retort, huh?" Click. I'll go, "Oh, wrong."
Shout out to 80s Girl, by the way. She's awesome. Spicy One says, "Discuss life insurance and wills with your parents." Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, now let's take a call. Okay. Let me look back through here. There are quite a few callers. Ooh.
We got Sean in the green room. He's a P hubris.
Can I ask one single thing?
Wait, save that. I already know what you want to ask. Just wait. You'll have time to ask that. All right, let's that's hubris. That's Sean from last night, right?
Yeah,
okay,
that's Sean.
Let's wait. Let's wait. Let me take another caller. Playgoy Cardi, actually, you're on the Killstream. Go ahead.
Are you there?
Hello, my friends. Hello. I have a question for I guess for Jim and for Dick. So as we could see in cities like New York, they're not arresting for petty crime. So I want to know, is this a good time to invest in sexy, sexual, sissy slave sluts for human consumption? Is this a good time for that?
Oh, it's probably a good time to buy a gun. Can you in New York?
No, the question is about sexy, sexual, sissy slave sluts.
Well, no, I understand the question. What I'm saying is when Jamal kicks your apartment door in to take your bottles of water and your fucking Nintendo Switch, are you going to be able to fend him off, or are you fucked? Can you buy a gun in New York? Is that even legal?
I think it is.
The best time
sure.
to set up a sexy, sexual, sissy slave slut harem is yesterday. The second best time is today. So you go for it.
There you are. There's your answer.
Let's go.
Let's go. Exactly. All right, let's go to the next caller.
Jim, these are the people you're trying to protect, by the way.
I know.
Also, check DMs. Check DMs, Jim, when you get a chance. Let's take another caller. Yellow Lantern, and you're on the Killstream. Butters is what you're known as here. Go ahead.
What an amazing turn of events we're having. The best Killstream I've seen in a long time, and it's with the two Hall of Famer Killstream guests.
Future Hall of Famers, yes. March 26th, we're going to induct Dick, whether I'm in LA or not. We're going to do that show still. So
Yeah, this virus has gotten crazy, and everyone's been relegated to sit on their butts and do stuff. But thankfully, I think I have if things go really bad and we start getting zombies, I have the perfect theme song for that.
Do you? But is that the wait. Is that the Halloween theme? What is that?
That's Call of Duty Zombies theme.
Oh, okay, sorry. I should have known that, but all right, don't play anymore. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do you have a question for these two? Because the call Dick's laughing at me. Sorry, I have to try to MC this somehow. Actually, go ahead.
Yeah, revive me, please. I have the ray gun. So my question for you guys, actually one for you, Ralph.
Me?
I pitched the idea of writing an obituary or sort of like a timeline of events of who Maddox is and what he did and why why we intended to have a funeral for him. How would you like me to set that up?
Me? Wait, what? How would I like you to set up? Oh God.
Ralph, this
just
reminds
do
me
it.
of Trump with the governors.
Yeah.
Just do it, China.
No,
I don't know what. Yeah, just do it. I approve. I think you should do it. Yeah, that's what I think.
All right. So my question for Dick is, would you say if you're able to, do you think we could live stream Maddox's funeral or something? Maybe just do a live stream.
I can't have it right now. I'll try, but I doubt I will do it.
All right. Thank you, Butters. Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate you, sir.
I'll try. I just want to have it.
Thank you very much.
I love you. Have a good one. All right. Let's
Oh,
try
hamburgers.
Dick, I'm starting to wonder if maybe, coronavirus kills the older people but leaves younger ones with autism based on the calls tonight.
All right.
The neat shall inherit the earth.
The neat shall inherit the earth.
Okay, so man, this call thing is really okay. It's really stacked. Let's try this guy. I don't know who this is, but
oh, that sounds like it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Did I put him in the wrong room? Yeah, I did actually. Okay, let's try this. Black Baron, you're on the Killstream. Go ahead.
Hey, I was kind of thinking, assuming that we do go into lockdown, my question would be, do you think the state of the country would be better afterwards? Maybe it's like a culling event. We get rid of the weak or whatever. Or do you think it's just going to show with how shitty our infrastructure is, it's going to leave us even worse off in the long run?
Oh, worse off. Yeah, I probably for different reasons than Dick thinks, but yeah, I don't think it'll turn out well for us now.
What about you,
The whole
Dick?
country goes on lockdown. I mean, I hope we build some kind of manufacturing base in this country so we don't have to rely on China for 98% of our antibiotics. Like, just let's start there and see where else we can go. I don't think focusing more media and more power on a smaller group of people, like in a lockdown scenario where everybody's getting it, where there's no more face-to-face, there's no more businesses, there's no more sense of community. I don't think making people rely on mass media is going to help us more mentally. I don't think there's going to be any kind of culling or mass purging or any kind of like Darwinism that filters out the weak. I think that when there's a filtering, it usually just filters out the smart, and everybody gets dumber. I don't know what you guys think, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with you. I would hope we'd have a stronger manufacturing base. We'd make our own medicine. But I think if we go on lockdown for like a year and a half, it's going to fucking destroy the economy. A lot of people are going to be permanently fucked for their lifetime because of that.
Let me look through here. Skag517 with the diamond. Terry J, which he always asks this. Hi, guest, would you have rather met Adolf Hitler or Prince? We'll start with you, Jim.
Would I have rather met Hitler?
All right. That's the quickest answer we ever had to that question, by the way. What about you, Dick?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. Well, the thing is, I love Hitler and everything he says, but I don't think he could give me anything new. So I'm gonna have to go with Prince. He might have some new songs I haven't heard in that head.
All right. Let me look through. I see some more subscriptions gifted out by Studio IKN. Let me see. Faith says, thoughts on investing in bullion, aka silver, gold, etc. Precious metals, I guess you could say.
Oh, it's a little late now. You probably should have got it on the upswing. Hey, should I invest? That's real biz logic there. Buy high, sell low. That's a good job.
What about you,
Sir,
Dick?
don't listen to Jim. Now is the time to take your $30 that you have set aside to make these wild and reckless investments and put it in. Go for it. Go big or go home.
All right. Matt Field says, I'm the first member of Jim's Koof cult, groomed for life. All right, let's take another caller. Let's see here. Beardson Beardley, you're on the Killstream. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, hey, what's going on, Ralph? Yeah, I don't know. I was pro-quarantine for a while, and then me and my wife are kind of locked down now, and I've noticed she's starting to watch how to making a murderer, starting to listen to a lot of crime podcasts now. Now I'm kind of wondering if I want to get the fuck out of here.
Bro, I had to watch Love is Blind last night. I was ready to kill myself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which one would be worse, to be honest with you. I mean, no one's gonna be fucking looking for me, so I guess really I just came on here to say if I don't stream or something for a week, like what fucking happened. But I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty good about all of this. We're in the gamer renaissance right now. Doom comes out in like fucking 2 hours. I really don't give a fuck about the poor waitresses and the poor fucking fry cooks that have to fucking make burgers right now. I really don't give a shit. I don't know, maybe that's heartless, but who fucking cares? I don't have to go to a fucking bar and pay a $20 cover charge to listen to some shitty fucking band play R. Kelly covers now. It's great. I can just drink at home.
Pearson, are you did you preload Doom on your PC?
It's preloaded and ready to go.
After you get this call, I've got something for.
Also, Flamingo, you're breaking up, so I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I think
Man, why couldn't you drink at home before the quarantine?
Never stopped.
That's because of social pressure. Here's the
yeah. The fucking needs, man.
No.
All right, nobody's going out right now. Now we're all drinking at home, right? Yeah, I'm not going to work today. You're not going. I'm not going. Come on, make it illegal, you son of a bitch. Yes.
No, here's the thing. Now with the coronavirus, we're free of all social norms. I could start drinking at 9 a.m. and no one's gonna get fucking bat an eye at me. Okay, I am free. I'm an emperor with no clothes, so to speak, at my own home. I don't have to worry about anything. I can start gaming at 9 a.m. I can down a fucking bottle of Jack on the front porch at 9 a.m. No one's gonna fucking think shit about me now. I'm free.
I'm an emperor with no clothes. That's the dumbest joke I've ever heard. I don't know which.
Oh, thank you, Beardson. You got anything else, man?
No, I'll see you guys. Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you, sir. By the way, you're the one person I didn't get a selfie with, and I talked to you more than anybody in DC, so that kind of pissed me off.
I know.
All right, man. Take it easy, dude.
See you, buddy.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did you say? This is the most teenage girl thing I've ever heard. I didn't get a selfie with
I didn't
you?
get a selfie. I mean, I took one with Cernovich and Michelle Malkin and Fuentes and everybody else. Yeah, come on, Jim.
Oh, God. All right.
This was before the social distancing. This was normal, right? You have to get a
You're
selfie.
slowly but surely convincing him that maybe everybody does need to die.
Yeah, maybe I'm going Team Virus. Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Don't be like that. Weepy Pee Hole says Gargoyles, easy for me to say, best 90s cartoon. We had this discussion the other night. What is your favorite 90s cartoon, Jim?
I don't fucking know.
What about
why
you?
is it Samurai Pizza Cats?
Was Transformers around? There we go. Transformers, sure.
What about you, Dick?
God, the 90s? Was DuckTales on in the 90s or was it Darkwing Duck already?
Oh, how it just combined them.
Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim. There you go. There you go. That was 90s.
Shout out to Doug Tenable. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know, he hates the cartoon.
Does he really?
Yeah, he called into my show and I talked about the cartoon for a half hour. He's like, man, I fucking hate the cartoon.
Biz Rayleigh here. He says, buy Link Ninja Guineas for everyone. Skag517 says 5-hour stream. Breathologist says, yeah, I think that's right. Whatever. Says take that $30 and invest in Ripple. Yeah, that'll work out. Max Hall says take on the Zoomers that can't cook for their life. Skag517 says Beardson is right. Time to start drinking. Senator Hitler says never let a good crisis go to waste. Get your N95 merch masks at bitwave.tv/store. Mike Boudet says the only ones who survive this will be the antisocial, masturbatory, video gaming vid streamers. Guess that'll include me. Skag517 says Darkwing Duck for life. All right, let's take another call. Let me see here. Fuck. Okay. Euros. By the way, Flamingo, look in show links if you can hear the sound of my voice. Go ahead, Euros. You're on the Killstream.
Euros, are you there?
All right, you're muted, sir.
You're very muted.
It's okay for me to be muted, but not you. All right, try to join back.
I see a double standard there.
Wash, you're in the Killstream. Go ahead.
Oh, dude, what's up? Just wondering how we can end all fucking niggers.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Jim, you got anything for that? Just end all.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was going to ask him to repeat it loudly and direct it at Justin Sun. Could you ask him to come back on and repeat that?
Let me mark that. It's 136, Gator. If you can hear the sound of my voice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They're going to put you on a catapult and shoot you over the wall of D Live.
That's fine. By the way, for the record, that person was banned from the Discord for saying that. So I'll just put.
What did they
out.
say? What were they banned for saying?
I can't. I don't say such scurrilous words. Of course, unless I'm on the Drunken Peasants, then I make an exception. Go ahead.
You're talking about knitting.
Yeah,
like
knitting. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, Sedan, you're on the Killstream. Go ahead.
Hey Dick, I was actually thinking about going to your road rage back when you had it in Minnesota, but I couldn't because I had a friend that had a wedding that next day, and it feels like a fucking eternity ago that we used to miss events for things other than coronavirus.
It does. It does. It's never going to be back. As that pencil dick from representing the California government said, we're Generation C now. Generation C is what he calls the kids now, defining the entire generation by the fucking coronavirus.
Generation Goof.
So I want to ask Jim. What do you think the breakdown is for cases that are mild, as in like the cold, and cases that are mild, as in China's definition of mild, where like you're just short of being intubated?
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing. So, I mean, they categorized 80% as mild, but then they said that included pneumonia. But then they wouldn't give any more specific of a definition of what that included. So we're kind of all, tits in the wind here as to wondering, well, who are the asymptomatic people, who aren't? There was a study that came out recently that said that they think the majority of the spread is basically what you're seeing is doubled, and that, the numbers you're not seeing are all the asymptomatic people spreading it everywhere. So I guess you could say those are the cold people. I mean, if that were true, that would mean there are 80,000 cases right now in Italy, and 40,000 of them have a mild condition, and they're spreading it to everybody else. But I fucking don't know. I really don't. We're stuck waiting for real data because China lies through their teeth.
By the way, speaking of China, I see the super chat from Max Hall. He says, do they, he's talking about you two, think it's a bioweapon or a Chinese mistake? I'll start with you, Jim.
I think it's I think it's a bioweapon and a mistake. I don't think nobody's retarded enough to release this for fun, shits and giggles. I really think it's something manufactured in the lab, and I think somebody fucked up, had one too many the night before, and tripped their way through security protocols. I don't know. It's Chinese shit. They're not known for really having the best standards for building shit. So yeah, it's a mistake, but I do think it's a bioweapon. I could be wrong. Maybe it really is some natural shit, but they blamed it on like 4 different things now: Pangolin, Civcat, fucking bats and snakes. And then it's not from the wet market. So where did it come from? Now they're blaming America, calling it a bioweapon. I'm pretty sure it's a Chinese bioweapon that escaped.
What do you think, Dick?
I think it's some chick at their lab who didn't put the lid back on, the virus container. Or perhaps a woman at their meat market who didn't close the door of the fridge that their rancid rats were in that they're eating. I think that, I don't know, I'm open to the possibility that they were making this as a bioweapon or fucking around and that they just fucked it up. I'm also open to the fact that it evolved naturally. I think both are probably happening all the time anyway. Like, I'd be surprised if nobody was working on a bioweapon like this. So, seems likely.
I have a hernia. Says Maddox funeral at your local GameStop win, and that also reminded me of another super chat from earlier about GameStop claiming they were an essential business and they were going to stay open during.
Oh,
this.
my precious Funko Pops! Where will I buy my shitty fucking merchandise? Oh, my precious little Funko Pops! GameStop.
Now, but can they really afford to close down though? Because they're already on death's door. Like,
they're going to miss out on those 2 sales per year. Yeah, that's going to really devastate them.
At first I thought, I'm watching Twitter. Of course, they're getting dragged all over Twitter. And then I said, oh, well, they're going to reverse course. But they're already struggling so hard. Can they really afford to shut down for months? I don't know. Like,
if they start selling liquor, they're just going to take over. Everything will be GameStop in 5 years. And we'll say, how the hell did this happen?
Let's see. I have a hernia. Says school shootings at an all-time low. Keep winning. Studio IKN says, is George D Live giving up on the lemon off? Let's go. Tangerine Toad says farting with no hands. I have a hernia says Maddox funeral at your local GameStop win. Okay, now let's take a caller that I know after the last caller. Let's make sure it's somebody that I know. Go ahead, Space Ghost. You're on the Killstream.
Hey, I just wanted to know, what are you guys drinking?
I don't drink.
For this.
At the moment.
Well, yeah, it's probably Woodford Reserve at that.
No, we won't get into that. Go ahead. I'll let it go to the panel. Jim, what are you drinking?
Holy shit, you lie more than the Chinese do, don't you?
Yellow Ralph here.
Yeah, no shit. I'm just drinking. I'm drinking a soda. I'm nice.
Now,
and
what are
sober
you
tonight.
smoking?
Well, technically the police are still active, so I'm going to wait to answer that question for the quarantine to go into full effect.
Now, what about you, Dick?
I swore off drinking yesterday for the rest of the week. So I'll probably make it till about 8:30, and then I might start drinking some acid after that.
Now,
the
wait,
lockdown it's driven me insane. There's really nothing to do but drink.
Did you really swear off drinking? I have a hard time believing that.
For the rest of the week, because I was drinking constantly.
It's Thursday.
The rest of the week?
No,
2 days.
no, Friday's the weekend. It's just a weekdays I swore it off. And I don't know if I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to make it because they shut down all the AA meetings. So,
Yeah, that's what happened to me too. All right, let's take another caller. Oh man. All right, let's see here. Oh fuck. Man, there are a lot of people in here. All right, let's try this guy. He is an interesting character. Sika Lothar, our resident communist Chinese defender.
I'm calling from Inner Mongolia, PRC. I'm now basking and laughing in the people's victory. Dick, Masterson, comrade, please keep on doing good work. You're doing the great violence work. Unlike some egghead over here who spreads conspiracy theories about bioweapons, shows videos of blood spits, and attributing it to respiratory flu, and laugh at the quarantine measures. There's even talk about covering up. What do you mean cover up? You're the ones cover up. No, you tell me where are the mass tests right now. You tell me where are the mass tests. Come on, you tell me.
Wait,
why
is it mess tests or
why
mass
do you mix flu numbers? You mixed up COVID numbers with the ordinary flu. You admitted to it. The bioweapons program. I tell you what, Murica, the US of A, is more established bioweapons program. Come on. How on earth did it end up Italy? Italy imposed a ban. They imposed a travel ban in China, and yet the one that was affected. If you ask me, I think it is a horde of flu-infested Italian Americans going to Italy. Look, let me tell you this. Yes, I could say it's just a flu, bro, but you do know the flu can kill you. It will kill you, isn't it? I mean, the reason why you mix the common flu with the coronavirus is because both of them are two forms of influenza.
Yeah, now did you have a question? Oh God, he left. Okay. Yeah, well.
No, is left your cute little colloquialism for I kicked him from the call?
No, he just gets too worked up.
He gets so worked up he accidentally hits the go button. I think he's probably already back. No, he's not.
Okay. All right. I have just told this first. I'm now laughing. I'm now eating.
Do you have a question, sir? Sika, shut up! Do you have a question?
Oh yes, you faceless, eggless man. Can I kill you? Can I really kill you? If I would say the things you said, I have no face at all. I'll spit in your mouth.
I don't know what that means. Thank you, sir.
He really doesn't like you, Jim.
I think he's really upset. Like I thought it was a bit, but it's not.
It was an okay bit, but you need to throw in a little shit talking about Taiwan and Hong Kong in there if you really want to nail it.
See, Jay Tuesday says, thanks to the dipshit edgelord who dropped the N-bomb just as the minority nurse was taking my vitals. Oh, wow. I'm sure she was very appreciative of that. You might want to keep one eye open while you sleep there tonight. Banana Yam says, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. And he quoted Tupac. Thank you for the. I didn't expect to be quoting Tupac tonight. But Pyro Bobby says, when is Jim's next update?
You mean like a stream?
I guess that's what they mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, I had a little bit of a kerfuffle with Susan. She didn't have her box of Franzia for the week. So I had to get myself. I got slapped on the wrist. I got it turned around though in about 12 hours. I mean, I saw Coach Red Pill celebrating, and then they reversed the decision, and he started writing about his poop. So I don't think he took the news very well.
Now this is well. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh, no, go ahead, Ralph. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, of course, I'm not good buddies with Coach Red Pill, but he really seems to have an issue with you as well, and I really don't understand. I understand why he would hate me, but I don't really understand why he's.
I have no idea. I think it's that clip I made. You know the video clip of him talking about women being dogs, and then the dogs, the women being led around on collars. I think that maybe upset him. I'm gonna guess that was probably what it was.
Got under his skin a little bit. Max Hall says Sika is basically retarded. Shinshan 256B says Killstream really gives me some of the best laughs. Well, I appreciate that, sir. All right, let's keep going. We got about 15, 20 minutes with these two. Let's keep going through, though. Oh, my God. A lot of calls. Let's try this guy. Please don't disappoint, but we'll try it anyway. Johnny F-150, go ahead.
Gentlemen, look. Xi has already made himself dictator of China. Putin made himself dictator of Russia. So tell me this, is this just not a setup for Trump to be dictator of America?
I hope.
That would be a very convoluted plan.
I'm just saying, if the flu could be what it is, all right, and this was just the media pushed it, it could be that bad. I don't know, but at this point, can you let this country fall into a weak-kneed dim facing a dictator in China, a dictator in Russia?
I think that's the only way to win the dick measuring contest. I think you're right. He's got it. It would be hilarious. I hope he at least delays the election by a day. Just a day, just for the headlines.
Just for laughs.
Yeah. So he has the longest term ever, or the longest term as president ever.
Well, I mean,
oh, did I kick him too early? Okay, I'll let him come back. Go ahead, respond.
There's a ton of people here.
But honestly, for the future, he's gone.
God damn it.
Yeah, that was my thought. Thank you.
He cut out a little bit. So what was his question exactly?
I guess, fuck, I really don't even know. About dictators facing off.
Was this a setup for Trump becoming dictator?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. All right.
Am I gone now?
I mean, no, you're here, but for now.
Oh, okay. I just heard myself echo. But no, honestly, it's you really considering the path that we're on right now. If you look at the big picture, I don't see any other option. And he's the type of man that would say, for the future of this country, this is what I have to do.
Isn't he 77 years old? You could sneeze on him and he'll die. Like if he gets coronavirus, it's going to be President Pence.
Well, I mean, how old now for World War II? How old in his fourth term?
You got to say you broke up again.
Yeah,
I heard World War II. What did you say?
Okay, I'm sorry. But how old was Roosevelt when he died in World War II in 1945?
I don't know. Did he die of a disease that kills old people?
Yeah. By the way,
Well,
Trump's
I mean, he had
73.
polio.
FDR was like 60 something, maybe. Let's see.
He had polio. He was crippled.
Yeah, no shit. That's what I'm saying. He already had fucking polio.
He had polio when he was president. What I'm saying is Trump.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Trump could get it in the office, and that's it. He's had contact with people from AIPAC, CPAC, different senators. I don't think he's going to fare well if he gets it. In the condition that he's in, I don't think Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders. All our politicians are old fucks, and they'll probably all get wiped out if it really rears its head up.
By the way, FDR was
Well, I think
63
you're right
when he
about that,
died.
yes.
He was 63. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you, man. Have a good one. All right, let's cast
Hey,
Michael.
can we play some bets on the over/under for the death toll of this coronavirus?
I think that's
thing?
a fair point. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Sure. Throw out your number, Dick. What do you think? What do you think? The end for America or the world? What are we doing?
Well, I think we only trust America, right? Because if we do the world, we got to include China, and then I don't know. Or
I
do we?
agree with you. Yeah, we'll do U.S. That's fine. What do you think for U.S.?
Where we at now? 8,000?
Not 8,000 dead. Are we talking about infected or dead?
Oh, that's the world. I'm sorry, that's the world. What are we? How many are dead in the U.S. right now?
I think like 127.
Is that it? All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Actually,
go.
218 is what I see on this count, but yeah. Go ahead.
Oh Jesus, really? Did it double in a day? All right.
That's what it says on this count. I can't, but yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go. We have. What are we putting stakes on this? I'm gonna do.
I'll tell you what. I'll bet you 3 rolls of toilet paper, 1 N95 mask.
You know what? I have an N95 mask from Burning Man. I was already stocked up because of my debauchery. Okay, I'm gonna go under 5,000. How about that?
Okay. Well, I will definitely take over 5,000.
All right.
Now, what are the stakes though?
3 rolls
of toilet paper.
Okay. I thought that. Okay. U.S. has reported 195 coronavirus, so this says 195. The other count said 218, but that's pretty close, right? Mike Boudet says, question, how do you make your own pasta? I don't know, personally. I don't know if we have any...
You open the Chef Boyardee can and plop it out.
I don't know if we have any Guidos on the stream. I could not tell you.
Bring cook in.
All right, I'll bring him in. Mike Boudet says Italy has just...
You'd spend 10 minutes talking about how tough you are and how you always shoot straight, and that's because of where you're from.
Where would that be, Dick?
Well, New York. Funny, I'm glad you asked, Ralph.
They're really based there in New York. They don't give a fuck. They just talk all their shit. Isn't that how they do it?
Have you heard that too?
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah,
if they're thinking it,
New Yorkers. Yeah, New Yorkers.
Because they're from New York.
Mike Boudet says Italy has just reported 5,300 new infections and 420 deaths. New 420 deaths. AK Talk says Trump's doctor says he is in the best of health. Actually, his doctor said he was even in better health than him, I think is what his doctor says. Funny.
Yes, we all know Trump shits gold and rides unicorns. He's the American Kim Jong-un. We all know, yes. Donald Trump is fantastic.
BG White says, Jim, is Bolsonaro lying or did he test negative? I mean, it'd be hard.
I thought he tested. I thought he tested positive. Didn't he test positive?
No, he said he didn't, but there are reports that he actually did test positive. Yeah.
I don't know what he's gonna do then. I mean, I don't know what shape he's in. Like, how old is he?
I'm not sure, but didn't he just get stabbed in the gut during his presidential run? If I remember correctly, he got stabbed. And
Yeah, he's a pretty tough son of a bitch. I'm sure he'll survive through it. But yeah, I could have sworn I heard he tested positive.
Yeah, so he's 64. And yeah, so I'm looking through here. Like I said, there's differing reports out whether he actually has it or not. I don't see a confirmation here, but maybe he's just trying to deny it. I don't know. Studio Icon just resubbed for 3 months. Let's see. I think I have all the super chats here. Well, most of them. Let's take Cass Michael in. Cass Michael, you're on the Killstream. Go ahead.
Hello, Ralph. Hello, Ralph Mills. You know they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at the boomers, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally, boomers go one-on-one with coronavirus. They got a 50-50 chance of surviving, but I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So coronavirus has a 25% chance at best to infect me. And then you add boomers to the mix, you see the chances of surviving drastically go down. See, with the coronavirus, you got a 33 1/3 chance of infected, but I got a 66 2/3 chance of living because coronavirus knows it can't infect me, and it's not even gonna try. So coronavirus, you take your 33 1/3 chance to infect me minus my 25% chance to get it, and you got a 8 1/3 chance of killing me. But then you take my 75% chance of living if I was to go one-on-one.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, the old Steiner bit. I love it.
He paid me $10 for that. So anyway, why don't I go to the panel instead of the callers? Jesus. We love Cass Michael. We love every caller, of course. Gator.
I mean, just before the show, you were telling me you actually hated all the callers, right?
I did not say that.
He did not. I'm fucking around. I know somebody's gonna put it on the farm tonight.
I mean, I do,
Get
but
it
I didn't
right.
say
He
that.
has contempt for the callers.
I do hate them all, but I didn't say that. Anyway, Gator, please say something intelligent.
Yeah, I kind of highlighted this last night, but a lot of mayors, governors are saying that they're going to use this kind of as an excuse to ban the sale of guns. Do you think that before this is all said and done, do you think that we're going to get the Gestapo going door to door grabbing people's guns, or you think maybe Trump will have something to say about that?
I thought there was a pretty big gun surge in purchases, wasn't there? I mean, like, people had, what, 2 months to prep for this? At least if you listen to me, you did. Otherwise, you're all fucked. Oh, you know what I mean, Ralph?
Yes, I do, actually, yeah.
See, I listened. I have a giant bag of rice and some beans. I'm safe. I'm going to be good. Ralph's going to be koofing all day.
Yeah, he's fucked. No, I would highly suggest, I would advocate not doing that, because you're gonna start a fucking uprising. I think it's a bad situation if people get really sick and their finances are fucked, and you're locking them in their place for a year and a half, and then they start hearing about the government coming to take their guns. You're gonna get some really nasty situations starting up. It seems like that's the worst thing you could do. Maybe fuck off when it comes to taking guns and just leave people the fuck alone if you're going to ask them to shelter in place.
It might set off the booga flu.
All right, let's go around. Flamenco, go ahead.
All I can say is, Jim, read I Am a Hero.
Okay. Check that out.
All right.
It's
Of course,
fantastic.
Flamenco goes to the weeb stuff.
It's fantastic weeb shit. If you like horror manga / like zombies and Eldritch horror.
I need shit to read. I've burned through so much stuff. Like the most recent was, I think, the legendary Moonlight Sculptor, which was pretty fucking good. But I burned through so much, I have nothing to read now. So I'm open to any suggestions.
All right,
Yeah,
now
you'll like it.
Now, Bibble, go ahead.
So, Jim, have you ever played D&D, and would you like to play on my D&D stream on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern?
Oh, well, shit. I think it's going to be, yeah, sure, I'll show up for your D&D stream. Why not? I mean, what else am I going to do? Dick, this is an excuse to get away from the woman for a while. Would you like to play nerd shit with us?
I don't know. That whole conversation about...
Come on, Dick. Come on. Jim signed up. I didn't expect him to sign up. You have to join us. Come on now.
I'm in. I'm in, guys.
Oh,
Fuck
shit.
yeah.
Yes, that's going to be great. All right, we'll talk about what you want to play afterwards, Dick and Jim.
I mean, what am I going to do? Spend time with loved ones? No, I'll do the D&D.
Well, this is going to be quite the extravaganza, because we have the people we already had, and Ricada's in, Dick's in, and Jim is in as well. So this is going to be fun. All right. Spike.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I love how Dick is now fucked into the situation.
He doesn't want to play at all.
Now he wants alone time with his woman. Yeah. Oh, I love her so much.
I'm sorry, Dick. I have to buy you a drink if I
that's
make
the
it to
last
LA.
thing I need. I'm starting to think that me and her are the same person now. It's really fucking tripping me out.
Studio IKN with a bunch of subscriptions. Let me read the stream elements because I haven't read them yet. Let's see. Dick already BTFO'd before the first 8 seconds. Guess the super chat earlier was right. That was Augie RFC. Big Hefe says Jim versus Ghost debate on anime. Ghost believes all cartoon watchers must be thrown into concentration camps and killed off. Ghost.
Well, how am I going to debate? You get
character.
a shit, right? Like, what am I debating?
George D. Law, by the way, threw 3 more Ninja Guineas. Very kind of you, sir. Let's see. Jealous Spy says, don't worry, boys. Dick will save us with the tactical nihilism and denial. He may not have lungs anymore, but he has his liberty. What do you say to that, Dick?
I just realized at the end, I didn't know Jim was a smoker this whole time, and he's talking about saving people's lives.
Oh, no,
Jim,
I'm a dead man.
You've got a conflict of interest over there. Is it nihilism? Is it nihilism that I don't want to not be allowed to leave my house by a guy with a fucking gun? Is that nihilism? Jesus Christ. I do. I love the all the libertarian ideas that are suddenly just obvious during a time of panic. Like, oh well, no, actually, we don't want to arrest people just stealing petty shit anymore. And actually, it is going to be okay to serve drive-through liquor. No, why do we have that? Why do we have that? Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. Is it nihilism?
Now, what do you think about them taking the liquor? That was another thing, and I think it was Illinois. One of those towns claimed that
I
they
hope
had the
they
right
take the guns first.
Yeah, that's what I hope.
If they're gonna start coming for guns and shit, it's not gonna be we're taking all of them. It's gonna be we're taking the 10-round mags, and you're left with we're having 3-round mags now. No magazines over 3 rounds anymore. Which I think they'll do. Like, why not? They're sitting there. The politicians are sitting in their offices as bored as we are. They're going to start getting crazy and wanting to do things, which never works out well for us. So I fully expect it. I don't know.
I've got to trade in my AK for a musket. Is what you're fucking telling me?
They're lucky. They'll give
Black
you a
powder pistol. They've been
Nintendo.
telling me for a while I could own one of those because I'm not allowed to own certain weapons, of course, because of the felony. But they've been trying to get me on the black powder pistol. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
I mean, the nihilism is we accept a certain amount of death and risk at all times for convenience. Like if we're locking down the whole state because we're afraid of how many people are gonna die, give me the fucking number and then tell me how fast I can drive. Like if you cut the speed limit in half, less people are gonna die. So how do you not do that from here on out? Like where has the grounding gone for telling anybody that their fears of death in the future are not valid anymore for me to not enjoy screaming down the freeway at 90 miles an hour? I think you lose that. And this is how this feeling of surrendering liberties and freedoms that will never go away. This will be a defining moment that lasts for, I think, decades.
Now,
what
do you think about this? I'll ask both of you guys this. What do you think about the Trump bucks?
Are you talking about the $1,000 for the next 18 months? Yeah, great.
$1,200. Yeah, that's
I think Bernie was right. $2,000 a month as long as it's shut down. Like, yeah, I mean that sounds about right. Like one check for $1,000 sounds like it's going straight to a strip club or the Apple Store.
Or is that just your bias there?
I spent my GW one on a brick of cocaine. Did everyone not do that?
Oh, God. Okay. Russell T. Shackelford says, report 1 hour ago, and this was from an hour ago, so 2 hours ago, California officials expect 56% of California population to contract coronavirus. Can't wait to wear my full-face respirator through Denver Airport on my way home to San Francisco Bay Area on Saturday. So that's the
so 50% of the state gets it. Let's say they're right. How many people in California? What's the total population? Anybody know?
It's about half. It's about double what there should be, what there needs to be.
No, really though. What's anybody want to tell me what the number is?
Is it 40 million?
That's my
about right.
understanding.
That's the estimation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was about 40 million. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 40 million people, 20 million you're going to get it. 20% of those are going to go to the hospital. So I mean, you can see how quickly that shit's going to get overwhelmed.
By the way, I don't know why I knew 40 million off the top of my head, but yeah, I did. One thing I actually did know. Mike Boudet says, Dick is deluded, lost our civil liberties years ago. Snowden told us, and now he's a criminal. What do you say to that?
I mean, a bunch of guys looking at what I'm jerking off to on the internet's a little different than them sitting outside of my fucking house with a gun. Like there's not being able to go to a bar. Not being able to be arraigned in court is a pretty big leap from the NSA parallel constructing big drug dealers. I understand that we've had our civil liberties chiseled away at for a long time, but we still got a lot left. We've got enough left to fight for them and fucking hopefully teach kids what they're supposed to be instead of just cheering on the government.
Well, I mean, but I think you have this idea that like if we put restrictions in place or if they take away civil liberties for a short amount of time, that they're never going to come back. But I mean, we had prohibition, we got liquor back.
Yeah, and we got the mob back when we got it back too. We've got we've got criminal enterprises that last forever because of that. So I don't know if they like you can't unring these bells that they're doing. You can't just reset life before the government crackdown.
Well, can I ask what do you imagine? Let's say your worst case scenario, they crack down. Let's say they institute shelter in place,
Yeah.
quarantines, lockdowns, all that shit. Every
Yeah.
state. Let's say it's worst fucking case scenario, 18 months. By the spring of 2021, it's finally fucking done with. 10 people have died, whatever, but it's finally done with. What do you think happens the day after they say, "Oh, you know what? Coronavirus is done"? Do you think they say you can't leave your house anymore? What do you imagine?
I think entire industries will be wiped out. I think you'll have 20-25% unemployment, and it will irrevocably change the course of people's lives. There will be, 80% of people live paycheck to paycheck. I think these are the people who they'll have to move back with their parents. Their families that they would have started will not exist. Like, this is what I'm talking about, is like Back to the Future evaporating photograph level.
No, I meant like in regards to civil liberties. What do you imagine is going to be gone forever if we're in the lockdown situation after, the last day? What do you think is never coming back?
Well, God, I don't know how brave they're gonna get. Isn't the Earn It? Aren't they shoving the Earn It Act through right now so that a panel of people will decide who gets CDA 230 protection online? Which will be the giant companies who don't give a fuck about your privacy anyway.
Yeah, but they've been building up for that for a while, though. I mean, we can't act like that's a direct result of coronavirus.
Of course. I think that they'll take advantage of the confusion to push some of these things through, that being one of them. It's impossible to say that it's easy to say it would have gone through anyway. But the fact that they're still pushing it through is annoying.
All right,
and it sets a precedent. This is which is, I think, more worrisome. It's not that the civil liberties won't come back. It's that the next time there's a pandemic, an epidemic, if enough people are afraid of what might happen in the future to cause death and chaos, there will be, there's always the barrier to pulling the civil liberties again gets smaller and smaller, I think. So next time it'll be, go ahead.
Let me ask you this follow-up then, because you don't seem to be too concerned with coronavirus. What kind of an event? Like, it doesn't have to be a virus, it could be anything, but what kind of event do you think would justify them doing what we're seeing them do?
I think that objectively, the data shown by scientists that leads to the logical conclusion of mass death and chaos is not any different than the global warming alarms, which is that, yes, it's extremely different. You got not comparable at all, except they both have scientific data, they both have a ton of projections, and they both have people terrified and assure that millions are going to die, that economies will be ruined, and that then as soon as this is done, it's going to be, well, you guys shut everything down for coronavirus, global warming's even worse. So let's shut it down again. We're rebuilding everything. No more whatever they want. It's whatever they want. I think.
Well, no, I don't mean what would they abuse it for. I mean, I get what you're saying with that. I mean, what would you say is justified? A meteor's going to hit the Earth. We're in World War III. What would you say is acceptable for them to do what they're doing now? Like, at what level would you be willing to say, yeah, fuck it, let's lock everybody down?
Nothing. Never. I would, if they're going to remove these liberties, then there's got to be redress. If they have to quarantine people, take away their civil rights, they've got to be represented. It's got to be specific people. It's got to be people that have the virus, and they've got to have the ability to appeal it to the courts. What they're doing now with just blanket, yikes, 40 million people, you're all locked up inside. There is nothing I can imagine that would justify that.
Okay, I'm just curious. I didn't know if you had like a level you'd be willing to go with, or if it was like a all or nothing thing for you.
Maybe if Hitomi Tanaka came to America and she said, "I'm gonna fuck the next guy I see," I would say lock everybody inside. I need to go find where she is right now. But other than that, no.
Okay, all right.
Masterson Tech Support says, we have better tests developed. We have a clean virus outside the human body. We have sped up vax process by 6 months. We have a medicine that helps stop some symptoms. The market stopped in unison, and it will start in unison. No freak out needed. By the way, I'm going to try to speed run through these. I have a hernia 94 says Jim is really overreacting to all this. I mean, look at the outbreak of SARS and how quickly we developed the vaccine for it. Wait.
Now, I'd like to say, how am I overreacting?
But
I'm
wait,
not running the go. Okay, all right.
Let me finish. He says, wait, what do you mean? We still don't have a coronavirus vaccine. At least rope is on sale at Etsy.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, like, I'm not the guy running the markets or the guy running the government. So you can address the overreaction complaint to every world government there is. All 140 of them infected right now.
Nemesis Prime says Jim wanted to see the world burn, but now that it does burn, how are you putting out the fire? Say, Jim, if we somehow proved that your virus coverage caused a domino effect that eventually saved the Earth, how would you feel about that?
Domino, how would it do? I do YouTube streams. Nobody watches them.
No, but I mean, you say that's not true. I mean, there was like 20,000 people watching some of these streams.
That's
and you are one of the biggest. Yeah, but I mean, don't be bashful. I mean, you're one of the top Corona covers on Twitter.
Jim finds
right?
the metal UPA and avoids World War III. That's what's gonna happen.
You know, if I wield that kind of power, I'm gonna make Trump tweet Gamergate 4.0.
All right, let me try to read some of these. Aspergler says during Katrina there were reports of National Guard coming in and taking people's guns from them. Do you think it's wise to give up some civil liberties now to protect others later, or that if you start down that path you're already heading there? I think we've had that conversation, but Dick disagrees. I think Jim sees some lanes where that's acceptable, right? Is that fair to say? Or
if they what do you mean if they come for your guns? What did he say exactly?
Let me see. During Katrina, there were reports of National Guard coming in and taking people's guns from them. Do you think it's wise to give up some civil liberties now to protect others later, or that if you start down that path, you're already heading there?
I think that the civil liberties you give up have to be ones that are related to the situation you're dealing with. I don't see a reason to take anybody's guns. If you're asking people to shelter in place or you're putting a city on lockdown, what is taking their guns going to do? How does that help them stay in their house?
All right, Merch Mask says if you didn't prepare and need some stylish N95 masks, head to bitwave.tv/store. That's right, Merch Masks. Yeah, I wouldn't trust those masks at Bitwave actually, but it's up to you guys if you want to buy them. DeHooch says we might need to give up some of our civil liberties to prevent half the nation from cooping to death, but since the government won't give them back, we should prepare to kickstart the boogaloo when this all blows over. Wagey Rage says wanted to start professionally streaming as a I misread that. Call of Duty knifer, but only Use Me Blade is taking all of my audience. Is he going to make it past this virus, or should I choose a new profession?
I don't think he's going to make it past the next 20 steps. His foot's about ready to fall off. Like that guy's just, if he gets, he's just riddled with holes, isn't he?
It's bad. Yeah, we've covered it all year. Ripe Cortex
There's
says,
a D-Live sticker now of his toe, which I expect to see in the chat in a second.
That is fucking horrendous. Yeah, I don't know how you do that to your body. I mean, how much liquor and diabetes do you need to go through to fucking rot your body like that?
Ripe Cortex says Newsom just instituted a statewide stay-at-home order. Yeah, we did cover that. See, SpikeX21 says to work in FedEx, the Amazon warehouse is positive. I don't really know what that means, but then he says, and those fuckers are next door. I'm not government. But he was complaining that I didn't read that, but didn't really understand.
Oh, no, I think I get what he's saying. Yeah, the package guys, like, FedEx, UPS, all of them, yeah, they're fucked. I mean, they still want them to come to work, so they get to go to work every day and deal with all that shit. Everybody else gets locked in place and sent $1,000 checks for 18 months. But if you work in your Amazon wage cage, you're fucked. You have to show up bright and early.
Now, should there be some type of protection from those people? Maybe they should write a law about that you shouldn't be able to be fired for that reason during this. I mean, I'm asking, do you think that that's a fair thing to do, like to forbid employers from dismissing employees for not wanting to put themselves at risk?
If you're the government and you're telling people the shit just hit the fan and everything's falling apart, yeah, you're probably going to have to say, you can't scare the shit out of the public and then be like, why did this guy quit his job? Why didn't he show up to work? All we told him was his fucking lungs were going to explode. No, like, there's got to be a balance there. You know what I mean? You have to balance it out if you're going to do that as a government.
Yeah, if you're going to go all the way with it, if it is this, super scare, I mean, people have to be compensated. They have to be protected, or there's going to be complete anarchy. That's not a crazy thought, right? It's
less than other shit you can't get fired, or you can get fired for, right? You can't get fired.
I don't know. Mike Boudet says, my N95 masks arrive tomorrow, but I'm afraid of opening the package. How are you handling mail? I don't know.
What is it? So it lives on cardboard and paper for, what is it, 24 hours, they said?
That's insane, by the way, that it actually lives that long.
So it's 3 hours in the air, like 4 hours on, was it copper or zinc? 3 days on like steel, like the smoothest surface you can imagine. They're different times. I don't know. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I think you should be okay unless are you ordering shit from Wuhan? That might be your first fucking problem. I'm gonna say, if you're ordering it directly from China.
But the scary part of this virus is how long it lives in the air compared to other viruses. But yeah, go ahead, Dick.
I've always, for a long time, ever since I started getting death threats, I make my girlfriend open all of our mail. So that's how I've been. I recommend doing that. They love it. It's like convince them it's a present. Like, I'm serious. I think it might be something for you. It might be a little something for you.
Pensive Cowboy says, enjoy cyclical decline during seasonal outbreaks. Potato Pop says, Jim, does the U.S. retaliate, and how does that escalate? Actually, you mentioned earlier about, you mentioned something about nuking China.
I think it should be a fucking unified decision. I think the world should come together on this one and just let it rip. Everybody's got a couple of missiles. They can all contribute, and let's just fucking turn it to sand. Let's glass the motherfuckers.
Well, you know what? I was kind of mad, but then I saw them trying to blame this virus on us and using their propaganda arms to say that. And of course, Trump. Thank God Trump is Trump, and he just doesn't give a fuck. Chinese virus, fuck off.
I love how he said it too. She's like, "Did you the China virus?" He has like this weird pronunciation of it, and then he makes her repeat kung flu like 8 times just to rub it in her face.
But I wasn't mad. I wasn't super mad, at least, until I saw that. And then I said this last night. If I had heard that, Tomahawk missiles were headed towards Beijing in that moment, I would have been happy. Now, when I think about it, it would be World War III. I'm not sure. But Spicy One says,
I wasn't mad till they called us racist. It's like, oh, did you guys have to look that word up? Like, what are you talking about? Racist?
Well, the Chinese are the biggest racists on earth, by the way, but that's a whole different story. I put out a tweet about that the other day. They're locking, Uyghurs in camps. They hate all other Asians. They're really, really racist in China. And for them to try to psyop, our society is just pathetic.
Oh yeah, they have a word for it too. They make fun of Americans for it. Let me see if I can find the name of this. White liberal guilt. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. It's a specific term they use to shit talk us when we go all white guilt on ourselves. But yeah, they're using that tactic right now of calling everything racism.
It's kind of working though. If you see some of these leftists on Twitter, like, oh, don't say that Chinese virus. That's racist. Virus has no nationality. Well, how could you say this?
This one does. It's Chinese.
No one ever accused the Chinese of being stupid, Ralph.
Oh,
no one ever accused them of being stupid. They know it works.
It is kind of working. And Spicy One says, Jim, tell us the latest on BitChute streaming. Actually, the day that I got my temporary ban here on DLive, BitChute. By the way, shout out to BitChute. They sent me, the stuff that I need to stream on BitChute. I haven't tested it out yet. I know that you have tested it out, Jim.
It worked. It worked really, really well. I mean, I missed some of the buttons and the features, but no dropouts. Really smooth. They had the peer-to-peer function up for some of it. You can do screen sharing and video sharing. Like, you're not plugging in OBS like you would on other sites, but the suite of features they have right now, I think if they work out the bugs and shit, I'm hoping in like 3 to 6 months, it's up and running for people to use. I'm hoping. I don't know. I don't have any special information. They just let me test it out for a day, but it worked really well.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that I might test that this weekend or sometime soon. But shout out to them because they saw what happened and they said, hey, if you need, there's still some bugs. They did say that it's not quite there yet, but if you need it, here it is.
I just like the fact that somebody posted the entire text of the Bible in the chat and it fucking broke it.
Skag517 says it's from China. Let's see. Max Hall said something about glass. I won't repeat. And I think unless you guys want to take some calls, it's up to you because I'm at the limit that I told you guys that it would go to. So it's up to you.
It's up to you. I got a little more time if you want to do some more stuff. I don't know. You don't want to go back to the woman?
I got all the time in the world. I could be here all night.
Yeah, sorry, honey. I gotta stay on the internet.
This is
Dick, do you want to play Animal Crossing with Ralph after the stream?
Is Animal Crossing that one
Ralph?
with that little dog you want to fuck?
No, I don't want.
Yeah, exactly. That one.
No, not you.
No, I disavow. That would be Vouch.
We got to get Jim to read that one, though. By the way. Jim, will you read the most? Will you read my favorite coffee pasta?
Well, are we talking like the Discord leaks where he tries to get a retarded chick to jack a horse off?
No. Just about how you want to fuck the Animal Crossing dog.
No, I'm not interested in fucking dogs.
All right.
If I
Domingo
was,
has gotten. You know what? I'm less than like 5 different creators to read that. Josh has read it. I think Ralph read it.
They paid me.
A big
money
fan of
to.
the Animal
Got a guy who did a very convincing Monkey Jones voice to do it too.
They paid me. All right. Let's take another call.
April 20th.
Pepto
locked-
Bismol. You're on the kill. Sorry, go ahead, Dick. Say what you're gonna say.
This is some kind of racist dog whistle for Hitler's birthday. I think they locked down. I just learned.
Pepto Bismol. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just here for the radio. I'm busy. I'm at work. Fuck you.
Well, don't
Go to
join.
D-Live Radio.
Yeah, don't join the green room then.
Retard.
That was the best call you've ever had.
That's the best one yet tonight. Yeah.
If I may suggest, Ralph, Neela Moon's been waiting in the green room.
All right, let's take her. She's our minority representative. All right, let's bring her in. Let's see. Neela Moon, you're on the kill stream. Go ahead.
Hey, I just want to know how soon before there's World War III after all this bullshit. That's all.
There you go.
I'm
Thank
hoping
you.
2021. I'm hoping that things heat up and we get to the big show pretty soon.
What about you, Dick?
I think we're gonna. I think we're all going underground when this all is over. The sun is gonna be too much for us, and we're just gonna we're gonna go in. No one's ever gonna go outside again.
You'll be trapped there with Hades Girl forever. She's a really good cook, though. I mean, that's one good thing. If you have
Oh yeah, that
food.
makes it worth it. No, that makes it.
Oh fuck, Gloves, you're on the kill stream. Go ahead. Gloves, what are you? I know it took a long time.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. No, I'm here. Hey, I just wanted to let Rand know that my girlfriend's a Jew, but I think she has coronavirus, so he'll probably be happy about that.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that call. That was great. Okay, let's take another. Johnny 77, you're on the kill stream. Go ahead. Johnny, what are you doing? Yeah, go ahead.
Just wondering if you guys think that this whole shit is just some theory. Somebody said that the whole thing was made up so that they could stop the protests in China. What do you guys think about that?
All right, what do you think? Was this to stop the Hong Kong protests?
Yeah, I can take this one. So the world famous virologist, Bill By the Dip Mitchell, has a real good fucking theory that this is just a big old hoax to stop those protests. I'm gonna go with 90%. Yeah, I'll lean that way. Sure, it's been a big old game of shits and giggles by the world right now, just to fuck with the Hong Kong protest.
I mean, we don't know either way, but would it really shock anybody that China would do something like that? No, I don't think so. All right, let's take another caller. Euros, go ahead. You're on the kill stream.
G'day, Ralph. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. I think Dick had it right before in that there's no real winner in this argument. So I've got a question for Jim, though. Specifically, I want to steelman your position. Are you scared the most because of China's heavy-handed response? Is that what's got you feared?
The thing that got my attention, I wouldn't really say that it scared me, but the thing that got my attention was, their response. I don't think they're going to kneecap themselves like that and fuck their economy like that and lose face in front of the world by having to lock down half their population like that, unless they were scared shitless by something they knew was bad and they let out.
Yeah, so that's really my counterpoint, is that I've worked in risk mitigation for oil and gas, and essentially when you see an issue happening and it's going to shut down your economy and your business, the first thing you do is actually get in a heavy-handed response, because the longer you leave it, the more likelihood that you're going to completely fuck up your business. And so when I see China, who's the biggest foothold on global supply logistics, their initial response to bury it makes sense. And then their secondary response to go, well, fuck it, we need to contain it now, makes even more sense, because Donald Trump shifted the Overton window in terms of let's get China out of this supply chain logistics. And what better response now for all the global businesses out there than to say, well, fuck it, we need redundancy and we need to get China out of our supply chain for the next virus and the next virus and the next virus. So does that sort of make sense?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can see your point, but I'd argue proportionality. I mean, when they were dealing with SARS, they didn't lock down anywhere near this amount, and that was a scary fucking disease that killed, was it 30% mortality, 40% mortality? So, I mean, they locked down what, 25,000 in Beijing? So, I mean, there's a, we're talking about like, what's a proportionate response? It could have just been Hubei, but they locked down 14 provinces in total. And they locked down through different means and various measures 750 million people. And to me, that says that this is way more severe and scary to them. That somebody at a high level knew that this was going to be a real fucking pain in the ass. And you talk about like, well, now the world's going to look at it and be like, we got to push China out of the supply chain. They probably knew that. They probably knew if we lock down like this, we're going to get kicked out of the supply chain. People are going to worry about that, and they still did it. So that's again, just watching their initial reaction and the expansion of it. That's what made me want to pay attention to it.
Dick, did you want
I
to
think what, Jim, you're forgetting is how much the Chinese love their grandmas. They will do anything, just like you guys. They will do anything for their grandmas. They love the golden girls over there.
What are they called?
Chinese? Very true.
I love grandpas like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. You guys love the golden girls. B. Arthur. I don't know the rest of them.
Well, over there it's the golden wontons. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Also, somebody's echoing. I don't know who that is, but whatever. We'll just keep going. I have a hernia says getting COVID-19, then simping for Neela. Shameful, Flamenco. That's what he said there. All right, let's.
Neela donates more to me than you, so fuck you. How about that?
Fair point. Fair point. All right, let's take another caller. E.M. Du Bois.
Okay.
What? Yeah, speak.
No.
Stay up.
Okay. Is he masturbating?
I don't know what he's doing.
Stay
That's
up.
what I do, but I can't.
I don't know
That's
what the fuck
me
he's
three
doing.
drinks in. Yeah. No, I've heard that before.
I have no idea what was going on there, but he had to leave. He had a previous engagement. Go ahead, Shiggy Diggy, whatever the fuck
Hello?
your name is. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Shiki Diggy. Hey guys, hey Dick and hey Mr. Metokur. It's good to talk to you guys. I love your guys' content, and both of you guys, is Dick and Metokur. I just have one question.
Wait,
Mr.
what about
Metokur,
me? Wait,
what
you left
is
me
the-
out. Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold up. Wait a
Ralph,
minute.
you are the best host in the world.
Thank you. Go ahead.
You're the best host in the world, Ralph. Thank you.
But look, we've got these two gentlemen here, and he wants to ask them a question.
Go ahead, ask the fucking question. All right, go ahead.
All right. I love Gator too. Come on, man.
We love everybody. Go ahead.
Anyways, we love everybody. We also love China. I'm kidding. Mr. Metokur, what is the best case scenario that you see going on right now for the United States? And please be reasonable. I'm not trying to be like real what I'm asking is a reasonable answer. What I'm saying.
Okay, well, I mean, most optimistic. Let's say that the low end estimate's right. It burns itself out in 3 months. We wait a year to get a good vaccine, and everybody looks back at this a year and a half from now, and they're like, "Holy shit, that was fucking crazy." A more realistic but optimistic scenario. We put some restrictions on the coast because that seems to be where it's spreading the most right now. Restrict travel interstate, maybe shut down domestic flights. Try to contain it where it breaks out and manage it, and maybe in 3 to 6 months we control it. My hope is that the people that are best capable of handling an emergency situation and best capable of dealing with a viral outbreak and managing that sort of thing are the ones that are going to be listened to. So hopefully the team that Trump has put together and Pence and all of them, they have the people they need that are going to give them the information they need to put in place a plan that makes this as short term as humanly possible to make it, because it is affecting people's lives. It is going to affect their bank account. It is going to affect their careers and their health and everything else. So, I mean, I guess that's, 3 months, 6 months, that's where I see it as my best, most optimistic guess
All
at
right.
it.
How would you
Thank you.
gauge
Oh,
the
sorry.
current response from what you've seen anyway? In terms of like, are you happy with the way that the government's going with this, or do you think they need to like get their head out of their ass?
I think at first they really had their head up their ass. I think they're taking it more seriously. I think somewhere along the lines, maybe in the last week, Trump switched, flipped a switch, where it went from markets first to people first. Now maybe I'm being too generous with that, but I think he's kind of at a point now where he's like, all right, fuck it, we're screwed anyway, money wise with the markets. Let's try to get this shit under control. And so it feels like they're more on top of the ball. He had a governor criticize him today on the phone. He had multiple ones criticize him. One said, hey, we can't have the states and the feds bidding against each other. It's stupid. Why don't we run it through FEMA so nobody steps on each other's toes? And instead of getting pissed off or embarrassed about it, he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do that. When Idaho said, let's use the auto industry, he's like, yes, that's a good idea. Let's do that. So it seems like he's more open to it. And I think they're starting to get their shit together. So, that's a good sign.
All right, thank you,
Well, thank
Shiggy.
you very much, Mr. Metokur, for your updates. Can I get a everything is a fuck you from Mr. Dick Masterson?
Everything's a fuck you, man.
Thank you. Good night, you
Grandma,
guys.
too. Call your grandma. Fuck, tell her to
Oh no! I'll
It's not
take it as a
America first,
compliment.
it's grandma's first in Trump's America.
Grandma's first.
Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Ralph, I'll be right back. I gotta grab another soda here. I need to make sure my diabetes level's high enough so this thing kills me quick. I'll be silent for 1 minute. Just keep doing your thing.
Hope you're stocked up.
Very good. Studio IKN says, wait, JD and Esum. Oh my God. How do I even read this? JD. Oh wait, Jim, Dick, and Esum of the top. I guess he means and some. I don't know. It says Esum of the top right side of net personalities. Tips for getting comfortable with public speaking. Okay, I got that point. So you're two of the biggest internet personalities that we've had on the show. How would you? Yeah, that was
right
hard to-
after that stumbling mess. Tips.
That wasn't my fault. You know what? Okay, I'll let you read it out. No, fuck you. I'll let you read it out. Let me send this to you. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat, and you try to read this out. I know you have a podcast, and you don't have to do it live, and you don't have to read out all these fucking messages. Why don't you read that out? Tell me how you would say that.
JD Andysum of the top right side of net personalities. Tips for getting comfortable public speaking? Question mark.
It's not that easy, is it? Yeah, anyway.
He needs an upside down question mark at the beginning to warn you that that's coming, because there's nothing in the language that tells you.
So how do you do public speaking, Dick? I guess that was the main fucking point. I don't know, but...
Well, never read anything.
I
was
think
elected to lead, not to read.
We do it live here on the Killstream. Studio IKN says, oh, there he is back. Okay, you know what? I'll ask you this. How do you get comfortable with public speaking was what the super chat said.
You speak in public?
I think that...
What kind of question? How do you get good at speaking? You do it. What the fuck kind of question is that?
Do it and do it and do it. Yeah, I wasn't very... even tonight, before we came on the air, I was a little... Like, when it's the big show, when it's the real, everybody's watching, they're going to be watching. I still get a little nervous, to be honest with you, hosting shows like this. But you only get comfortable by doing it. Yeah, that would be.
And copious amounts of alcohol and possibly
Well,
calling your opponent the N-word.
That does, that helps a little bit. Okay, let's try.
To be fair, we don't have anybody nearly as obnoxious as that guy.
All right, Architects, you're on the kill stream. We'll go for about 10.
And like literally a week ago, everyone was like, "Oh, it's nothing to worry about. Don't panic." Today we had a meeting and we had to do social distancing, and they're sending away all the like office workers for teleworking. So my main question is, how long do you think this is going to last? Also, I bought stock. So when do you think the market's also going to restore?
What did you buy?
It's called Jaina. It goes at like $4, and it was at like $100 like a week or a month ago. So we'll see if I make like $7,000.
I don't know. I'd expect that minimum of this lasts at least another 30 days. Let's say that. I mean, even if it does burn itself out, it's the biggest nothing burger on earth. I'd say at least another 30 days of this shit. Yeah. At the bare minimum, the most minimum of minimums, 30 days.
Yeah.
Regardless, you should stock up.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just hoping I make a return on this. I'm down $600.
I love it.
Go ahead, Dick. I didn't hear that. Go ahead.
I said you have kind of a sick desperation in your lap. I love
He
that.
does.
Yeah.
What kind of rope are you thinking of buying? Like the quality versus the cost?
What are you doing at the Ministry of Agriculture or whatever they've got you in?
Fucking cows, I guess.
Cows, awesome.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Now, how do you,
Yeah,
how
this
do you,
thing's kinda
how
got
do you
me on the-
teleconference cow fucking? How does that?
No. The main office has a bunch of like foreigners and stuff like that. So they're like, stay at home, do whatever you want on your computers, and us fuckers
let the
that are like
foreigners fuck the
actually
cows.
have to be out in the fields, like we have to go no matter what. So
Oh, so
we're kind
so
of
they
screwed.
send the locals and they keep the foreigners. Lovely.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're the cannon fodder out there. If I get the Wu flu, I'm kind of screwed. So whatever, dude.
Jim, what
Well,
businesses do you think? What industries are do you think maybe disappear after this? Like I saw theaters might be one of them. If
Oh,
they're,
holy shit, man!
what other businesses do you think will leave?
Fucking restaurants are fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. Hotels, cruise ships, theaters, movie theaters. The movie industry is fucked for quite some time. A lot of people are gonna get really fucking hurt from this. I mean, I think everybody recognizes that, whether you agree with the lockdown or not. We can kind of all see there are a lot of industries that are really, really fucked. Except for
Now, do
Twitch
you
War.
think that the king will never be dethroned? I'm curious though. Do you think that I guess services that basically allow for smaller restaurants to be able to have like takeout, like Uber Eats or deal, whatever the fuck those things are called, do you think those are going to be relatively popular for just minimizing person-on-person contact?
I think like Instacart and Shipped and stuff like that, where somebody delivers your groceries, that'll do really well. But I think like Uber Eats and the ones that deliver food that you eat at the moment will do terribly, because nobody wants you to get the Metokur and cough on it. But they're fine if you get
The
them
Monday Man is fucked. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, if that's the industry he's in, yeah, he's probably gonna be pretty fucked, because people will get paranoid to the point where they don't want anybody handling their food they're putting in their mouth. What are you gonna let your taco sit for a day to decontaminate? It's gonna taste like shit.
Yeah, and the virus lasts so long, you really can't get around that. Also, I should have mentioned this earlier, but tomorrow night we have Destiny versus Eric Stryker on the Killstream. 3 days, 3 debates, blood sports, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I'll do that promo right now. Spikehex wants in so badly that he sent another Ninja Genie, so I'll bring him in. Spikehex, or whatever the fuck your name is. SSS is your name here, but go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Oh, am I on? Hello?
Yes, you're on.
Yes.
Oh, all right. First of all, I think Jim won the argument. I do agree with both of what they were saying, a little bit on and off. Me personally, I'm a contractor for FedEx. Me and my family have been doing this since they started the whole contracting thing. I got like a dozen people working for me. They don't want to go to work. They're fucking scared. I'm fucking scared. I mean, I'm young. I'm kind of healthy. But my dad, he's 50 years old. He used to smoke. It's not fucking fair. I'm not government. I shouldn't be working. I understand if you're a cop or anything like that, you kind of have a duty and all that. But and what I was saying to Jim, I don't know, and I tweeted this to Jim a day ago, the lockdown is going to happen in New York City regardless. They keep saying they're doing it slowly. It was from like 50% now to 25. They don't want gatherings of 5 people, from 10 people the day before, and then 50 the day before that. But they want me to work and deliver their fucking packages, and you know what I'm. Anyways, what I want to say is that I don't know what should I do, you know, like, because they're threatening to take away my business. I can't just say, oh, I don't want to show up. I own the vehicles and stuff, but I don't own, like, you know, FedEx is like a franchise. They can take away my routes, and you know they're telling us, well, you know, let them cough in your mouth, you know. Like,
Yeah,
what
I
do
mean,
I do? Like, I'm not just some wagey cagey fuck, you know. I can't get another job tomorrow, you know. I got, you know, me and my family we're the last bit of middle class, upper middle class in New York City. Everybody's either some fucking lip-tid retard that works for a corporation or some poor fucker that lives off the government. I'm not one of those people, you know. Me and my family are, you know, one of the few people that still exists in New York City that doesn't exist in New York City. You know?
Yeah, I mean, in small businesses like yours, you know, contracting out and stuff like that, you're going to get fucked. I know the government is promising that, you know, they're not just doing the, you know, we're making fun of Trump bucks, but they're also talking about small business loans with zero interest and a long, like, deferment or arrears kind of setup, so you can take the money, support yourself, and then I think they said if you had employees you had to pay, that there was even a bonus to that. That might be something to look into, but I don't know what to tell you, man. I know that a lot of people are going to get fucked. I know that it's coming down, and I don't blame you. I think contractors, truckers, people that are working UPS, FedEx, people that are stuck working at a fucking grocery store. I mean, that shit's nightmare. You know what I mean? Everybody else is freaking out. That's, you know, office workers are scared, but there are a lot of fucking people that are stuck in their jobs, and they're going to get fucked, whether they're small business owners or it's a guy working the fucking gas station. You know, how terrifying is that? Everybody's sheltering in place and you got to go to fucking work.
No, and I understand, you know, like, I understand people that, you know, maybe they don't have too much invested or even less. Like, I want everybody to shut down. Like, I've been listening to your stream since day one about this, and thank you for that. Like, me and my family prepared. I'm actually kind of a prepper. I've been doing it for 2 years anyways, but you got my family to stop thinking like, oh, I'm fucking crazy for buying food supply for 2 years for a family of, you know, 14 people, you know, me, my sisters, my nephews, my brother, my mom, you know, the whole fuck grandma thing. You know, out of all my grandparents on both sides, the only one I really cared about died anyways 2 years ago. He was old, you know, of old age. The rest of them could go fuck themselves. Like, so I agree with Matt. I agree with Dick on that part.
God, why does everybody hate their grandparents? What?
No. Wait. I love. Look, my grandfather on my father's side, he died. Whatever, he was old age. You know, he died. But I don't want my dad to die. He's a boomer. He's 50 years old. He used to smoke until he was 45. You know, like from like 20 to 45, and you know, I'm glad he quit. But you know, he's at risk. He has to come with me. You know, I have a whole gas mask thing, goggles and shit. You know, it filters all that shit. We can decontaminate. You know, when we get back in the house, like, but it's fucking, you know, it's not fucking fair. Like, I'm literally gonna go postal if they fucking fuck us out. Like, you know, like I'll go postal.
No, you won't. You won't do that. We disavow. You won't go postal.
No,
disavow. Disavow.
It's not fucking.
Just saying he's going to get a job with the U.S. Postal.
Yes,
That's what he
we
means.
disavow.
Yeah.
postal.
There you go. I work for the government. There you go.
Yeah.
And they canceled my school. My university's canceled. So you know, like, I lost money in that. I mean, yeah, they're still doing online classes. One of the professors doesn't want to do that though, because they're a bunch of boomers.
All right. Go ahead. Finish up your thought there. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Somebody called me. I'm on my phone on Discord. But yeah, like, I don't know. I just wanted to thank Jim, I guess, for the whole advice thing. You know, to keep. Also, I tweeted you the picture about that form. It was like 2 days ago they gave it to us. But you know, so these fucking corporate fucks. You know, I'm a capitalist. You know, I have a business, but these corporate fucks knew about the possible shutdown 3 days before they even announced it. And they want us to sign these papers to basically say, oh, well, we're allowed to be outside when they shut it down. I don't want to be outside when they shut this shit down. Like,
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm glad you. I'm glad you stocked up. I'm glad you prepped and got your shit ready. And yeah, there were a lot of people that said, "Oh, prepping for what?" Well, as Dick just learned, he's going to be spending a lot of time with his fucking girlfriend for the next goddamn month.
I can take about. I'm gonna go work for the post office as well. In about 3 more days of this, guys. Did you say
sorry.
Yes, postal future postal employee. Yeah, go ahead. Last
No,
thought.
no. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I
Because I got like
wrong.
15,000 callers.
Okay, yeah. The only good thing that I can say is that the apocalypse.
Wow.
The apocalypse. Sorry. The apocalypse brought me and my girlfriend back together. That's the only good thing.
Wow.
The last.
I have a joke to make there, but I won't make
Yeah.
it
It took
because
an
she might.
apocalypse to get you back together. She's not worth it. Drop her.
Take your rice and leave.
Thank you.
Your guys'
SSS.
kids are going to be known as the quarantines.
I appreciate you,
in
man.
20 years.
Thank you for calling in, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Stay safe, man.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
Yeah, stay safe. All right.
You're
we'll
wrong. Ordering stuff off Amazon while that guy's talking about how terrified he is to do delivery.
You're gonna make him deliver it to you? Is that what you're saying?
I'm ordering DVDs off Amazon because I like the DVD experience. I like putting it in. I like the whole, the whole experience of it. I don't want to download.
Are you bullshitting right now, or are you actually ordering DVDs?
Oh no, I'm bullshitting. I'm ordering sleeves for my magic cards. I don't want them to get scratched.
Yeah, no. Dick specifically asked that guy to deliver it from New York. It's like, I want him to drive it out here to me.
So I got one more question for Jim, just specifically because E3 was like one of the first things to get like just completely canceled right out the gate. What are you excited to see maybe like Sony and Xbox and like I guess PC things doing like 35-minute scheduled presentations like Nintendo Direct and not go through like the 3 hours of teeth pulling that we usually go through with these things?
Well, I mean, Nintendo's had years to get their Direct shit, kind of working and running really, really smoothly. I don't actually think the consoles are going to come out this year. I think with the supply chain interruption and the economy the way it is, who the fuck's going to buy a new Xbox?
How could they even get them built, Jim? That's what the thing. I don't know how they could. All these things are built in China in the first place, especially the parts. Yeah.
Yeah, the Foxconn shit. Yeah, they're kind of screwed. So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, I hope everybody really likes Animal Crossing and Doom because you're playing it for a year.
All right. Now, there were a couple super chats about DSP, and they wanted you to comment on DSP. One of them said, did China let COVID out to bail DSP out? I know you had the bankruptcy thing going on.
Oh, I know. Is this man is like blessed by God? I don't understand it. Losing 2 houses, bankruptcy. Everything's going to get taken from him. Suddenly, court system shuts down. No bankruptcies, no evictions. Taxes are delayed.
Forbidden by law from evicting him. Yeah, go ahead.
If you want to survive this, move towards DSP. We need to take shelter around him because apparently nothing bad can ever happen to him.
It's unbelievable, really. Okay, let's take 2 more callers, and then we'll let these gentlemen go. Pits of Cowboy, you're on the Killstream. Go ahead.
Hey, I appreciate you bringing me on. Just a real quick question because I want to cycle through so other callers can go on. I guess my question is that once this thing does go widespread, like in the third world, do you see it like as possibly maybe kicking off a movement to kind of push forward with like a moratorium on immigration? And if not, do you see like a possibility in the future of seasonal outbreaks occurring if they do, allow immigration from the third world to continue?
Yeah, I think well, I don't think it's seasonal. I think it's going to stick around. But let's say it is seasonal. Yeah, I think it'd be crazy not to have some kind of a change to our immigration policy. Italy itself, because it didn't shut down travel, infected 17 countries. Iran, because it didn't shut down travel, infected 14 countries. If this thing blows up in Africa and South America and the Middle East, like it's already doing, really, and you're taking in immigrants and you're the EU or you're America, it's fucking suicidal. You're going to get wave after wave after wave. I mean, they already wrote papers about this, talking about expecting multiple waves of this thing. Now, do they mean like influenza? Is it going to be like the fucking Spanish flu? Everybody thinks the Spanish flu was like, 1 year, one event. No, it was over multiple years, and it was multiple fucking waves that it went around the world. So, I don't want that to happen. I hope common sense sees the day through and people are like, holy shit, maybe open borders is fucking retarded.
Yeah, I guess that was my thought as well. And I guess kind of is related to that. If that does continue, like maybe you and some other people are surmising, do you see that as like a cyclical disruption of the economy that could just continually occur after that? And I mean, honestly, do you think that the world economy could sustain that if anybody you let in could potentially just reinfect the whole country?
I think if it becomes a cyclical thing where it's like a seasonal, or if it goes on for more than a few months, if this is like a year's thing, I think the economy and businesses are going to try to harden themselves against it. And I think that means a lot of people are about to get fucked out of jobs permanently, even after the disease. You're going to see robotics take off. You're going to see drone technology take off. We can't hire truckers because truckers might get sick. Let's automate it and have, a GPS driven vehicles. Let's replace all the UPS and FedEx guys with machines. Let's, automate every fucking restaurant we can automate. It's going to become, this kind of, how Tucker Carlson would rail about this on his show, like this dystopian technology future that fucks everyone out of their job. That's where we're headed if we don't get this shit under control.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know what you mean because I work in transportation and logistics, and I know, already they're amending all of their motor carrier safety rules so that as it is right now, truck drivers have to take mandatory breaks, but they're already rolling out regulations to basically suspend those by executive order. So basically, you're gonna have people driving 24/7, 365 just to keep shit moving.
Yeah, and then they're going to follow that shit up with, if this lasts for 7 or 8 months, they're going to say, well, fuck, we got the truckers going for 24 hours a day, and it's a safety risk. Let's replace them with a machine. You know what I mean? So, it's bad. They have to contain it. You can't have open borders if it's seasonal. You can't. They're going to start to adapt. The businesses and the economy will adapt to it, and it will fuck people out of jobs.
Yeah, I think we're going to get dicked either way. And honestly, the only way they're going to contain this is by taking, more extreme measures.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you calling in.
Yep, appreciate it.
Also, I saw Mad Cucks wanted to call in. I just now saw that. It was an hour ago, and I sent him the information, but I don't see him.
Yeah, I
in
DM'd him the link.
Oh, so he had it. Okay, well.
I just DM'd him the link, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay. 2 more. Brian Niemeyer, real quick. Go ahead. Sir.
They usually say that
Yeah,
they
go
usually
ahead.
say that the entertainment industry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say that again?
There's obviously a delay. Just speak when you hear the sound of my voice and just don't stop until you get your point out.
Uh-oh. All right. They usually say that the entertainment industry is recession-proof. We've already touched a bit on this, but I mean, Hollywood's already lost a ton of money due to shut down the Chinese market. Which entertainment sectors, if any, do you guys see surviving?
Video games. That can all be done remotely. Absolutely, video game development can be done remotely and distributed remotely.
They really do have a leg up over television and movies, don't they? Just because
everybody else needs a set. Everybody needs people to get together. Unless you're going to create like a string of fucking satellite studios where one person shows up to green screen their part and then they add it together with everybody else. But I think digital entertainment, video game entertainment, that's kind of hardened against this. Everybody else, like movies, television, they're in trouble. Radio will be fine, I think, because it's kind of a limited exposure. Music industry maybe would be okay. Again, limited exposure, but movies and TV are going to get hit the hardest, definitely.
Dick, you want to field that as well? Thank you, Brian. By the way, go ahead. Dick.
He got a lot of. You've got a lot of people who are more willing to risk it than I think. Than I think is showing right now in the empty streets because it's illegal to go outside. One of my friends in entertainment is a manager. He said that even after the governor declared a shutdown, his boss rounded everybody up and says, "Now's the time you got to be out there signing clients while everybody's home during the quarantine." I think these people are if they're willing to fuck Harvey Weinstein, they're willing to get sick. So
that's very true. I mean, that's kind of Warren Buffett's opinion. He said, when everybody freaks out in the stock market, I buy everything. But I'm thinking like, who's going to indemnify it? I mean, yeah, the actress and the director, fuck it, we want to be famous. But you think Universal is going to take on the liability when some stupid whore that wanted a bit part in a movie gets coronavirus? She sues them because they put her at risk. Universal sued for
I think they'll allow
$50 million.
I mean, you have. It's like it's not just the flu, but it behaves similarly, but it kills more people, right? And we allow that. We will get bored enough so that we will co-sign to risking the mortality of Hollywood whores and their handlers to create entertainment for us.
Hey, I think this is the opportunity. We're talking standard media. This is the opportunity for all those Twitch whores to become famous because now all the Hollywood stars are busy. So it's time to show those titties, girls, because now you're going to be rolling in the money. Everybody's locked in their house. They got to jack off or talk to the wife. It's one of the two.
iDubbbz girlfriend came at just the right time, got those new tubes.
Mike Boudet says for Jim, and then we'll take one more caller. Mike Boudet says, at what month do utilities break down and lawlessness begins? Do we have enough military? That's kind of my concern as well. But
I don't think utilities will break down. I mean, if we reach that point, you might as well just start living a fucking Borderlands existence and ravaging the landscape and doing whatever you
I
want.
tend to think that utilities will be one of the last things to break down.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they lasted in China, so there weren't
I
any
mean,
blackouts.
we can all go outside. Like, we look outside, the sun's out. It's not like there's chuds out there waiting to drag us down. It seemed like the apocalypse when it was raining, but as soon as the rain stops in California, people are going to say, like, what the fuck am I doing inside?
But I mean,
I'm going to work.
even though utilities, I do think will be one of the last things to break down. I mean, there could still be lawlessness before the utilities break down.
They'll have National Guard and military on the streets before. If it gets bad and really lawless, yeah, you'll see military, and they'll find a way to justify it. Absolutely.
They said today that people in LA need to be more like the people in Pasadena. That's what they told.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Well, Jim, if David Duke had said it, it would be very offensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's
They
a
need
lot
to be a little
whiter
more-
in Pasadena. Yeah,
They need to be a little whiter about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, you know, Pasadena's doing a great job keeping themselves together and in high spirits. You filthy downtown Angelinos need to be more like Pasadena. And I said, wow, man.
Now tell me it was a nice 40-year-old white woman that told all those Negroes they needed to behave. Was that what you got on the?
I don't know. I think it was a Mexican guy. I think it was a Mexican guy.
Oh,
that
send the Mexican guy out to say it, or we're gonna all get a lot of shit.
All right. Let's take one more caller. We're gonna end it with a female. I've never had this person call in, so it's probably gonna suck. But let's do it anyway. Nebraska Faye, you're on the kill stream. Or excuse me, Nescafe. Why do I want to say Nebraska? Nescafe, you're on the kill stream. Go ahead. Wow.
Typical
Crickets.
woman. Fuck it up.
The women do not disappoint.
I've never heard a woman be that quiet in my life, actually, but thank you for calling in. Let's try one more caller since that one didn't work out. Let's see. Oh, a lot of unfamiliar names in here. You know what? Fuck it. All right. Pinky Culture, you're on the kill stream. You're the last caller. Metokur versus Masterson. Go ahead. Motherfucker.
Pinky, are you there?
I know.
Can you hear me?
Oh, wow. Go
can
ahead.
you hear me
go
now?
ahead. Yes.
Yes, we can.
I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts? Are you guys, what are your thoughts on the NEET?
Wait, what are your thoughts on NEETs or on a NEET? He cut out. Oh,
I think you got
Disconnected.
kicked. Or not kicked, but disconnected.
What are your thoughts
Should
on
invite
NEETs?
Viridian Cavalier. He's always good.
Yeah. All right, fuck it. Viridian, you're the last caller. I don't give a fuck if the goddamn world ends in the next 5 fucking minutes.
Thank fucking God. First, in response to Seska, Taiwan #1. Fuck China. But number 2, fuck Richard Nixon. He's the reason why this shit is happening. Because if we didn't intervene in the Soviet-Sino border crisis, the Soviets would have turned Beijing into a fucking Soviet cesspit.
True.
Dick Masterson, question for you. I discovered a YouTuber, and he shares your legal last name, and I'm not stated just for sake of privacy. But search up Brendan and then just insert your own last name. And is he your brother? Because you look stunningly similar.
It's actually me.
You're about to say that.
Can I get a fuck grandmas from you while you fucking people? Fuck grandmas.
But yes, I also agree with
Give
that.
us a fuck grandmas. That's what we need to sign this stream off. Give us fuck grandma. That's what I want.
My grandma, although
Not your grandma, just grandmas in general. Fuck grandmas. Give us that.
Fuck grandmas.
There it is. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you calling in. All right, that's it. Okay. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Dick, for lending your power to the kill stream once again to future Hall of Famers here. very kind to come on and have this discussion and stay a little bit extra too. I'll give you the final thoughts here. I'll start with you, Jim. If you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Sorry, my computer cut out a
Okay,
little
that's
bit there. You said final thoughts?
Yes, final thought for you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the only thing that's really going to get me through this tumultuous time of quarantines and lockdowns and being stuck inside with the rest of you is reading the Diary of Coach Red Pill and knowing how poops turn out on Twitter. I hope the poops are coming out okay. The consistency and color updates are really important. They get me through these trying times, and thank you, and God bless you, sir.
God bless you, Gonzalo Lira, for
I've
sure.
got one more thing to tell Jim real quick.
Very quickly, go.
Bethesda just released Doom Eternal, but accidentally also released the DRM-free exe file.
That's pretty funny, actually.
So Bethesda is the one that has cracked Doom Eternal for everyone to use.
Oh, sweet. IP torrents, here I come.
Todd Howard is raging right now. You can hear him.
Dick, it's on you, sir.
Guys, I'm going to get off the show into a world where I don't know what's illegal anymore. But I'm going to have to figure it out with the only person I might see for the rest of my short life. It's quarantine, and I know that I have Jim, you to blame for that, and all the grandmas in the world. So fuck the grandmas, fuck the abuelas, fuck the nonas and the opas. All of you old. I want you to teach your grandmas how to get on Twitter so I can tell them all to go fuck themselves for doing this to the world. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, guys. That was great. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good weekend. Very well.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, I was pretty happy with that. I think I didn't get everything asked. There was literally, by the way, unbelievable support for this stream tonight. I really could never say that enough. This might be the most support we've ever gotten on D Live, and so I don't know. I could sit here and wax poetic about it, but it's really amazing how you guys came out to support the show tonight, and hopefully it was entertaining. We're back on Discord now. Flamenco can hear me, but I don't know if anybody else can. By the way, that was a good little point there about Doom. I already checked IP torrents. I don't see it up yet, but I'll check it out again later. I guess Animal Crossing's out now too. Oh, you know what we didn't get to? I wonder if I have this pulled up. Can you hear me, Flamenco, or is it just me talking to myself?
No, I can hear you. I was just letting you
Okay.
talk.
Okay,
I
okay.
interrupted enough tonight.
No, you did good. You had some really good points, actually. All right, let me pull this up. This was one thing I thought about covering before. Honestly, I told them, 2 hours max. They were both kind enough to stay another, 45 minutes, basically. So that was pretty cool. But so I had these stories in my back pocket in case I had to go. There's a couple more, but this is the one I really wanted to get to. Matt Jarbo on Twitter earlier. I wouldn't have seen this because he has me blocked and I don't really pay attention to him unless somebody sends it to me. And Green Danger sent this to me. He put this out on Twitter, and this was like 2 or 3 hours after he put it out. Anyone want to buy me Animal Crossing for my birthday next week? And then he put a little lowercase LOL right below that. No retweets, no likes, and the comments, the responses on Twitter were full of people just mocking him. And I was on the fence about buying Animal Crossing, but thanks to the great support tonight and how generous you were, and just to piss in Monday Matt's face, I think I'm about to go buy Animal Crossing, is what I think, and I might just stream it here on this very channel. Thoughts on Monday Matt? I guess the Uber Eats is just not paying enough, or he was complaining about the tips the other day. I guess he really wanted Animal Crossing. Maybe that's why he was so fed up. And I don't know if you could help him out. I did suggest sending maybe like an empty box to him or something like that. Of course, that would be mean, but
Definitely with nothing illegal in it. Like
no.
Anything illegal at all.
No, nothing
nothing
illegal.
Wings of Redemption's ever received in the mail.
Nothing illegal whatsoever. Gator, Bibble, you have any final thoughts?
They're not in the call right now, I don't think.
I mean, they can see us here though, right?
No, they're talking to Jim right now. Probably.
Oh, they're talking on the post stream. Yeah, that could be. All right. Well, maybe that is.
Add me to the call so I could also talk to Jim.
All right. Well, I'll add you, but not before I'm able to get back on. What is?
Oh,
it,
they're gone.
Bibble?
They're gone now.
Okay. All right. Did you get the D&D set up, Bibble?
Yes, I did. 29th, Jim will be
Mike is
on
doing that thing again.
the D&D game.
Oh, whoops.
March 29th, 5 p.m. dlive.tv/Bibble, YouTube, easy for me to say, .com/Bibble. I'll be there. Jim will be there. I think Dick maybe will be there. Maybe he felt put on the spot. I'm not sure. Nick Ricada said he'll probably be there. I guess Harrison, maybe some other people will be there too. It's probably going to be like an all-star D&D stream. So...
Yeah, I don't know who all's going to be there because we can't have like 15 people there. So some people that you saw last game.
Oh, I got to bump them now. Is that you too big league now? Big league Bibble. Is that what it is? Oh, wow. I see how it goes. Oh, sorry, you don't have enough followers. Okay.
Well, Ralph, I wanted to talk with you about this off air, but I guess we'll have to.
Honestly, you'd be doing me a favor. But anyway, thank you, gentlemen. That's it. I'm ready to sign off.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm downloading Animal Crossing right now since Doom's going to be free.
Gator, anything from,
there you go.
Anything from you, sir?
Yeah, I just had my first stream in like 4 months tonight. Did very, very well. I think a lot of it was due to you, Ralph. People were pretty excited about the upcoming show, Dick versus Jim, and so they tuned in to watch me play some One Piece Autism. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in for that, and Scratch Point, Augie, Flamenco, everybody that hosted me for that. Real Seb popped in there too. Just want to thank you guys for that, and
specifically Ralph for the 1.3K.
I wanted to
1.3K.
I've been trying to encourage him for a long time to start back with his solo shows on air and off air. So I was happy to throw the host once I realized that I could still host people. So I was very proud of you and happy to see how well your stream did. So, and thank you for tonight as well and everything you do for the Killstream.
Yeah, thanks for putting this together too.
Well, it kind of fell together, and then I had to rework some pieces to make sure that it still happened. But I think we had a pretty good show. I'm happy with it. Very happy with it, actually. And by the way, thank you to Full Blast Forever, the YouTube restreamer, and everybody that showed up there. We cracked, I think it was 8,300 max there.
Shit.
Yeah, so that was the biggest show since the Sargon stream, basically, with Jim back in October 2018, and this was pretty much tied with it or right there with it. So this is the tied for number 1 or number 2 if you want to put it there, biggest kill stream of all time.
Horsefucker BTFO'd eternally.
Yeah, wow, we're really hurting here on the kill stream. God, please stop. Oh, please don't hurt me anymore.
I think he was only able to crack 5K for his presidential debate watching. So,
tough titty.
And then shit, pedophile.
Yeah, tough break there. By the way, I didn't mention this, but they actually reported me, and I didn't see it till today. They reported me for the link in my bio. And the link in my bio is killstream.live, where I also put out an article today, Best of Mr. Metokur on the Killstream. So check that out if you're so inclined. But they reported me for this link, and I pulled it up. I was like, wait, what's the link? And it doesn't look like it does in my bio. It's shortened to a Twitter, code or whatever. But if you pull that up, it's killstream.live, and they tried to report, and Twitter said, we have investigated the reported content and could not identify any violations of the Twitter rules or German law. Accordingly, we have not taken any action at this time. So suck my fucking dick, Vouch, and you communist fuckers. That would be my last thought there. Gentlemen, Bibble, Gator, Flamenco, all of you.
I'll be live right after the stream, playing some Doom and then some Animal Crossing.
There
I'll
it
be live
is.
tomorrow, dlive.tv/Gator. See you guys there.
Appreciate it, Bibble. D&D.
Right before the kill stream.
D&D, March 29th. dlive.tv/Bibble, youtube.com/Bibble. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's it. Oh, there's a few. Oh, man, there are some super chats. I don't want to pull a vouch. So I'll try to read these. Now, some of these are questions I can't really ask. What do they think about GameStop's policy of not closing down? We did talk about that, though. Not sure if you guys know this, but they have a cure ready. They are testing it. So sorry, Dick. Looks like Grandma's gonna live through this one. Let's see. Chris Wright says, I meant to ask this actually. What everyone thought about the media simping for China and something when Trump calls it the China virus. We kind of talked about that, but not directly. This one says Jim versus Ghost on anime. We did cover that actually. Let me look through here. I'll try to read them all. Some of them disappeared, so I can't help that. But Pasta Enthusiast says 4K confirmed cases in New York City alone out of 10K in the entire U.S., up from 17% of all cases 2 days ago. RIP and Gabagools. I'll be with Dark V soon, friends. Oh, press V for Dark V. Man, he would have loved this show. That's actually almost makes me tear up, to be honest with you. He would have really enjoyed the show tonight, and I miss that guy every single day. And I won't say any more because I will tear up. Matt Fuckface says, if California is predicting 56% infections and they're employing the most draconian measures of any state, isn't that proof that the government intervention is worthless security theater? Karn says, work for UPS in New Jersey. We spent most of the day making ID cards for all employees in case stopped by cops. State is about to do a month mandatory quarantine. Companies that aren't open have their stockpiling up inside the building. Drivers are going nuts. Yeah, I would absolutely hate to be working. I mean, honestly, I'm so lucky that you guys support the stream so much and that I'm able to, I mean, I'm at home doing this, and I'm very lucky to be able to continue to work, but not everybody's so lucky, or they have to continue to work and it's a complete fucking shit show. So yeah, I just want to thank everybody there as well. Scrubblord Man says, this stream cured my ED. Drumboy02 says, great stream, guys. Lots of laughs. Scrubblord Man says, please play the outro music video tonight, Ralph. I don't really know what that is, to be honest. We do have a couple music videos, but this stream got a little spicy. The one that I would play, I can't play because of certain words. It was made by Meringue Bad. On another occasion, I might play it, but we kind of need to keep it a little chill. When we can keep it chill, we need to keep it chill. So, let's see. Pinky Culture says, was trying to ask if you guys are excited for Neat Bucks. Yeah, I mean, I'll take the money. No doubt about that. Studio Icon says, Bane has entered the chat. Shinchan256B says, I love y'all, but I'm National Guard, and I'll take you out if you break quarantine. Waffle Kodiak says, as a game developer, Jim, I hope you're right. SpikeX21 says, thanks, Ralph. Needed to get that out there. 1776 2.0. The Real Tenchi says, buddy, in Argentina, cops with guns are quarantining. And I think that's it. It has been an amazing night. Honestly, it went even better than I thought it was going to go. And that's thanks to, I mean, we had two legends on, right? So if you notice, for the first hour or so, I didn't even say shit because there's nothing that needed to be said, really. Just let these two guys have at it. And then we took some callers, took some super chats to kind of spur the discussion. But I thought it went really well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to play two songs. One will be the intro the outro that's recorded on the podcast. The other will be the one that you get to hear on dlive.tv/The Ralph Retort, patreon.com/The Ralph Retort, newproject2.com/The Ralph Retort. I will be putting out a bonus episode within the next, let's see, I think I said Monday. By Monday, me and Randbot will have a bonus episode, and it will be put out. Ralph and Rand, I'm pretty excited about that too. So if you're a subscriber on DLive, email me, theralph@theralphreport.com. I'll send you the episode personally. But if you're a subscriber on those other platforms, you can just get it immediately. Oh, there's a new shirt up, shop.theralphreport.com. I should not mention that, so check that out too. I'll stop shilling. Thank you, guys. I should just stop shilling because you've been so kind anyway, but that's the rules. I got to get them in there at the end, whatever. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Actually touching the support, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I guess the rumors of my demise were greatly exaggerated, Vaush, and you communists and you losers and you haters, suck my fucking dick. Farewell. want to hear the Bojack theme again, so that's what we're going to hear. Thank you all again, once again, for the amazing support. Tomorrow night, Destiny versus Striker live on the Killstream, dlive.tv/the Ralph Retort. That's going to be a big one, too. Now, this one obviously was the granddaddy of them all, but I think that one's going to be just right below it, like almost equal. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I want to hear the Bojack theme, though, so good night.